and I'm doing a quick test to see if it actually arrives on Twitch, and hopefully then we can get started playing. Come on, let's see. Ah, there. That looks like we have a stream there. Hello.
I've been cursing the apostates so long, sometimes I forget we used to live among them.
Good, good, good. Okay, so I'm hearing myself, and I can see Aloy. That looks good.
Sometimes I don't even recognize what we've become.
Okay, good. So, we have a stream, and that means we can get started. We have a bit of a mission to do today. So that's good. Let me just rearrange a few windows here. Just in case.
Couldn't we have given her more food?
I can see some things.
Who don't even remember Meridian.
Alright, and then let's switch to the actual streaming overlays. And we should be good to go. Hello and welcome.
This fire is a ruse.
I'm Uli, and this is a...
Take him at his word.
Hi, Bones. Yeah, I'm Uli, and I will be streaming Horizon Zero Dawn for you this morning. Oops, that was close. Hi.
Shut the brat up.
This happens when you put down your controller and accidentally trigger the shoulder buttons. Luckily, there is no friendly fire in this game. So, what are we gonna do today, and what happened so far? So, we have one mission that is in this place, in the Sun Circle. Deep Secrets of the Earth. It actually said to make sure we do our errands that we have to do before we go there. I'm taking this as they're actually trying to tell us there will be something important happening. Let's see, we have a few errands here. I don't want the Hunter's Lodge stuff. The others aren't really that important. So I think I'm gonna risk it, but there is one thing. There is a tall neck nearby, and I saw that a while ago, and thought, okay, so let's do that to get started. You can see the tall neck over there, like behind those arches. So I think that's something I'll be doing first, just to warm up, and then we'll go and do that other mission. I hope that'll work out time-wise. What I did in the meantime, since I didn't have a stream on Friday, because I was very, very, very tired, and so decided to not do a stream in the interest of still being awake at work, because it gives me 3 extra hours for a nap. So I actually went and hunted a lot of foxes and other animals, and unlocked a few things. For one thing, I unlocked a few of these upgrades where Yeah, so the hunter bow, and I think we had the traps before, and the tripcaster ammo, so I upgraded a few of those so I can carry more of those at a time. And I also bought from a trader here the Rattler, which is sort of this game's equivalent to a shotgun. Wake at work sounds like an excellent plan. Yeah, it's kind of necessary. I mean, they're not paying me to sleep, or generally they prefer not to pay me for, doing stuff wrong. So anyway, sorry, Fox. They, yeah. So it also, like it feels better if you're not sitting there trying to stay awake,
Keep that for
strongly.
later.
I also ran into a machine patrol nearby, so that's why my health pool up here in the left is not quite full. The green thing, which is the medicinal herbs that I can use to refill my health. So what I'm gonna do is to quickly run around here and refill that again.
Oh, useful.
Oh, that's fire cone. Anyway, there should be a few more here. And while I'm at it, I can hunt a few more animals just in case I need it. Because there might be more upgrades or things that require those materials. I'm actually looking now for fish skin, and what was the other thing? A bit like Firefox, only with more flat fox. Yes. You could say that, yeah. Okay, I have to be careful not to go too far left here, because over there is a whole bunch of... Oh, that's fire killing root as well. There are a bunch of angry machines over there that burrow through the ground. And I'm not yet good enough to face them, really. There's like a fireplace back there. And if I walk up to that, they will actually see me. Okay, so on the way to our tall neck over there, I will just try to fill up the medicine pouch so we're as prepared as we can be. Oh, that also reminds me, is there any ammo that we're still missing? No, I think they're all full. Okay, good. And maybe, well, let's switch to the arrows just in case I see an animal and decide to shoot it. I don't want to blow it up or anything. Okay, back there is a... What's that? Those are tramplers, okay. Let's risk it and get a little closer, because I think there's a... Is that a health plant? I hope it's not fire killing root again. Oh, it is. So much just for this. So much risk. Although I have to say, these foxes that I hit here don't render any web pages. So you see over there, there's our tall neck, which is the big guy, and you have to climb it and cope with whatever is around it, which are usually a bunch of angry animals. Well, angry machines, I mean. And sometimes, bandits and other people. So let's try to... Let's fire kill and root as well.
My focus is receiving another signal.
Yeah, that's the tall neck that signal. Okay, now we're full. So now we'll do a quick save over here. Not necessarily a quick save, but a save. Yeah, that's like those foxes don't serve coffee. They deserve death. You know that. You're saying it right, Bones. Okay, so let's try to get over there without being attacked. I'm thinking whether I should call my mount or just try to. Well, I think I should just sneak in there. So here abouts I ran into a bunch of machines the last time. Oh yeah, over there, okay. So let's see if we can maybe avoid them. There's not that much cover here. But maybe I can scan the tall neck.
There, another tall neck. I just need to get on the tall neck's head.
Yeah, so what are the highest things nearby? That hill could just about work, I guess. Why doesn't it let me scan this tall neck? That's interesting. With all the others, it let me choose their, let me show their path, but this one won't. Okay, so the question is, do I try to get, I think I tried to get rid of these guys before, and then continue. It's always a difficulty. Let's see, tear, okay, those are Ravagers, and freeze. And electricity.
I need to be closer to use that.
Okay. Now that we've set up a few things that we can hopefully lure them into, let's see if we can place a few traps. As well.
Time to prepare.
Okay, and
Messing with me.
now use these arrows. Who's saying who's messing with me? Oh, this guy. No, please don't run into any of these.
That wasn't a warning.
Oh, he's helping me. Okay, that's nice. Oops. No. Come on, guy. run to one of the traps. Okay, let's see. Oh, get out of there. Come on. Aloy. I said get out of there. She always remembers to. She always does 2 jumps instead of 1. That's... Okay, let's heal ourselves and maybe run away a bit.
Only the strong will survive.
Okay. You got it. Okay, thank you. That was helpful.
Shadows turn to rise.
You want a balloon? Yeah, she didn't say you want a balloon, Sonny Bones. You're right. Let's pick it up again then.
We got prowess, friends.
They got what? Okay, so let's hope that we've... Oh, wait. That's the gun from Ravager. Cool. Okay, let's drop that for a second while we collect the rest. But let's not forget to pick that one up. I wasn't aware that was a thing that... I know that like some enemies will drop their heavy weapons. But I wasn't aware this also worked for others. So that thing here looks like you could get up there and... Oh, okay, so there are a bunch of birds over there that will see me, so let's just... Whoops. Whoops. Okay. Whoops, that made it a lot easier. Okay, we're out of ammo for this gun. And we've attracted pretty much everyone in the vicinity. Oh no. And that's not good because everyone in the vicinity is actually a bellowback.
Now they're hunting me.
So let's little guy, little guy. Oh, no, no, no. Come on, let me get away here. Too young to die. Oh god, there's another one. No, no, no. Goodness gracious. Careful not to be run over by this guy. Okay, I think we got the small ones now, so survive until we manage to... Actually, dear, come on, come here. Yeah, walk through my explosive. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Thanks for following. Okay, at least that sort of worked. Do we have any other traps that we can trigger? Yeah, okay, we have these traps here. Come on. Come here. Oops. I think I have a less fire. Oops, no, not ice. Fire. Yes. No idea how I'm supposed to... Oh, okay, I got this one, I guess. So now one I might be able to deal with. Oops. Okay. Come on, you're almost on fire. That'd be not the kind. Yes. Good. That wasn't the stealthiest way of doing this fight. Bat booms instead of balloons. Okay, let's read back in chat. So sorry if I got distracted by this fight, but not dying is kind of important. Okay, where were we? Little guy, little die. Imperial Web Gaming, thank you for following. And, yeah, bat booms. Okay. Whew. Okay, that was good. Let's see if we can
That's coming with me.
collect any nice elements that these dropped, and then finally get on that thing and climb the tall neck. Which should give us the opportunity to unlock more of the map over there. Because that's what tall necks do, they are kind of a lookout. And give you new map items. Oh, and let's boost our health a little bit, and this is a health plant. Okay, a watcher over there. Oh, there's another. Dude, can't you leave me alone? I have half a mind to run to the nearest... Where did he go? To run to the nearest campfire over there and do a save as quickly as I can. But that sounds as if the tall neck is... yeah, pretty close. We missed that one. Let's see if we can get up there. Let's see if we can jump on here. Yep, okay.
Made it. Now to climb up to its head.
Oh, I didn't want to go back. I wanted to go over there. Okay. So that looks good. Oh, this is a new variation. It's always nice they make little variations of how you get up. Usually, like, you climbed up the back, and this one you see doesn't have as many ridges on the back, and you had to, like, climb around the front and then up here. And now I guess you go up here, and this time you climb on this one from the front. Is it? Oh no, you climb on from the back still, you just have to go around here, okay. Interesting, that's a nice... Like, it's not really a different thing, but it's not the same with every tall neck either. Which I like. Okay, so those guys down there don't seem too happy. They hack that tall neck and go. And Joey, I guess is how you would pronounce that. Thank you for following as well. Yay! So, we've unlocked a bunch of map. I got another skill point. Let's enjoy the view from up here. See that over here? There is where we fought them, so... While we were climbing up and stuff, he's already done half his round. Or she, actually. We wouldn't know. It would probably be more correct. Okay, so let's see what that did to our map. Oh. It fogged away the whole... a whole bunch of the lower section. That's neat. Okay. So that's where we are, and a lot of this stuff is what we haven't seen yet. So that's good. Is there another tall neck on the map? Not really. Okay, but next route is down there. Zero Dawn Project Facility. So we're actually a bit closer now. Okay. Oh, and there are a bunch of folks that... bunch of birdies that will attack us.
They know I'm here now.
Oops. That wasn't the intention. That was dumb, actually. I accidentally hit the side buttons in the wrong order, and then it did that jump. They're giant robots. Apart from allowing you to unlock stuff, what is their function? Basically, they show you the map and kind of make you hack stuff. So yeah, that's what they do. Oh, it respawned me down here. That's interesting. Oh, and this dude now... Excuse me. Oh, and there's a watcher here. Let's save that guy if he wants to attack the enemies. It's nice of you. Oops. I think we got him. Okay. Oops. What the heck? Oh, those are enemies, it seems.
That came from...
Okay, so those weren't actually... Oh, and there's a guy with a big you actually are dead, but I'll let you get that one. Because it's the last thing you're saying, after all. Okay, so yeah, this is what happens in this game. You know, you think you're done, and then you're actually getting attacked by bandits as well. At least they leave you a lot of
No space.
loot to scavenge. What, I don't have enough room for more shock traps? That's interesting. Okay. Let's see if we can refill our health. Okay. And here is another heavy weapon that we could use. Okay, so we apparently managed to accidentally kill a few geese as well. Or maybe the bandits did. So I'm kind of curious what killed all the animals. Was that? I guess that must have been the bandits. Okay, let's sneak to that health plant and hope those
Save these for the trail.
over there don't see me. Let's see, are we headed in the right direction? Actually, we sort of are, so we should turn left over there. So let's see if we can get to that save thing without being spotted, and oh, those are broadheads. I guess that's okay. This might be a little bit too cheeky, but we'll see. Okay. So let's just continue down here. We could probably call ourselves a mount. That none of the people on the right there are too interested in us. Oh wait, I need to refill the medicine pouch again, I guess. And we don't really need a mount because this is nearby in the city, I realize now. Oh, okay. One thing we should probably do is refill our arrows, yes. Alrighty then. Also, I need to quickly mute myself and sneeze. Give me a second. And yeah, it really is a shame that that this game is a PlayStation exclusive. It's well, but you know, it worked out for what they wanted, Sony, which is oops, such a crack shot, as you can tell. Or I think the technical term would be crap shot.
No room.
No room? Well, let's get this one before we try and... Oh, turkey! I need a turkey skin. No turkey skin. But hey, boar skin. Oh, and we're out of room, I guess. That's not good. So let's see if we can do a little bit of the inventory game. Sorry. Yeah, more of a cracked shot, yeah. Yeah, so it worked out for me because this is actually the first gaming console I bought, this PlayStation, so hey, making Horizon Zero Dawn at least gets oolies. Okay, so which modifications? Satchel upgrade, yeah, let's get that one. We have a good bunch of upgrades. So outfit satchel, we're not really tight on outfits page right now. Potions pouch would be nice. That needs a raccoon skin. I haven't seen any raccoons nearby. Sling ammo needs a fish skin. And rattler ammo as well at this point. And rope caster needs a turkey skin. So sadly that turkey didn't drop one. Okay, so let's look at our inventory and see if there's any resources we can drop. Actually, the usual stuff I throw away is not really much of it there. Oh wait, let's go over to crafting and see if we can have any potions to craft. Those usually, yeah. Okay, those usually free up some space. Okay. Now we have that boar skin, and now we see what the other boar just shock wax, okay. Where did the other boar go? Ah, here? No, that's a rock. Come on. Well, I guess there is no loot indicator around, so either... in another nook and cranny here, or here it is. Looks like bones or something, yeah. You kind of get used to the colors eventually. So the bone is an uncommon item, so green. So if it dropped one of those, you see. And the skin is a rare, so blue item. Always these people talking and whispering around us. There's another fox. Thank you for donating to the Aloy Fur Coat charity. Your donation is appreciated in the best... Oh, wasn't a fur coat. Well then, sucks to be you, I guess. Uh-oh. I just want my health pickups.
Enough.
Don't mind me. Very dusty here. Oh, that's the sun circle from the outside, I guess. That looks interesting. Hadn't noticed that when I came by here before. That you actually see this huge circle all around you. Flat Fox Fur Foundation. Yes, that sounds good. We'll have to keep that one in mind then. I mean, it is kind of weird how the foxes here seem to be a lot flatter than I remember them from my biology books. And apparently you can slide down from up there for whatever good that is. Is there anything interesting up there? Well, there seem to be a bunch of hostile machines up there. Machines? I guess there's a vantage point up there. Okay, come on. Give me a few more medicinal plants. So we can't get there from this side, as far as I know. The path we took the last time was climbing around the walls of the building. Oh, I guess here is the entrance where they
Remember your place, stranger.
send the animals into the circle. Given how much of it they've built, I'm kind of worried that we'll end up in there soonish. Or at best, our exit will lead there, and then we'll be fighting a big animal in there. I just hope they don't take one of the drilly animals, like the I forgot what they're called, but there's a bunch of big animals that kind of like burrow into the ground.
Of who I am. No matter what happens, we are Karja and we will endure.
Okay, so we're about 1.5 health bars. I might just decide that 2 health bars is enough as a saving for the upcoming battles, but I think it's not a good idea to go with less than that. I like that this game, like, they have these patrols that help you a little bit as well, but anyway, it's a nice bit of lore that in this area, you know, you run around and you get, among other things, rabbit fur.
Nutritious.
Okay, where was I? Yeah, so on one hand, you know, they say, well, the machines are getting more aggressive, most areas aren't safe anymore, but if you stick to the roads, we have our soldiers there, so you should be reasonably safe, and that holds true. Like, occasionally you run into groups of enemies, but like the main enemies are between the roads, and on the roads, like, you can wait out certain enemies and just wait until one of those groups comes by. Oh no, that tall neck. I just thought, you know, we'd broken the tall neck and it wasn't moving anymore, but at this distance it just seems incredibly slow. And I guess it was just coming towards us and not, and you know, like right before the turn. So it looked like it wasn't moving when really it was, just very imperceptibly. But yeah, and it gives the story, you know, like that's how, you know, like it used to work in like the Middle Ages or something. Like they started building roads, and one of the things that made roads such important, so important, was, hey, I only wanted to hit
Tasty.
once. Is that you know, they had patrols on the roads, and that's what made them safe, and you could just travel along them, you know. And also that if it rained a little, you know, they didn't become soup immediately, but rather the rocks kept the roads from like flowing away and things like that. You see, like there seems to be a bit of paving or something there. So no, so it's totally realistic that this is how it would work, you know. And I like that in this game. Never mind me. Just eating my totally medicinal plants here. There are also totally medicinal mushrooms, by the way. Okay, we're actually into the 3rd health bar. That's good. I think I'll risk
Save this for later.
getting some more meat. Let's see if we've collected enough to craft the final missing health potion. Good. So we should be all filled up. And those guys we better not disturb. The King's Road with road wardens and inns and all that. Exactly. I see Bones has more knowledge of history than I do. And I mean, you know, like in some way we still have that. We have you know, like we have police that is you know, like highway patrol and things like that. So it's a totally normal thing that most people don't really think about what they do. Like highway patrol, yes, in a society that is as safe as we are these days, a lot of what highway patrol does is more along the lines of you know, just taking care of traffic accidents and things like that. But there's also, and I mean, you know, like people probably think of it a little because you know, there are movies, but usually the highways aren't where the crimes happen. Like it's when's the last time you've been waylaid on a highway? And I hope I'm not jinxing anything here. Actually, please, yeah, I'm a slight bit superstitious, I guess, in that I often feel uncomfortable talking about things that might be wrong, although I'm like not, it's a, you know, totally reflexive thing. It's not an it's not that I say, yeah, of course you can jinx something. Like if you asked me, I'd actually go like, no, it's not really a thing. But somehow I still insist on trying not to jinx stuff. Weird habit. So anyway, yeah. So usually, it's a rare occurrence that people
Sand's already scratching at my skin.
like while riding across the highway get, you know, like robbed or things like that. Whereas, you know, in the old days there was just so much empty space between settlements where, you know, people could just hang out and like grab the choice bits of whatever people were transporting on the roads or had with them. I mean, I guess we sort of have this, like in, but usually since our cars go so fast, I guess it's not, you know, like you can't just block off a bit of highway because traffic is just too high these days. But what we still have is, you know, people, you know, breaking into cars on parking lots and things like that, and you know, like that's why, you know, you're given the suggestion as a tourist, you know, don't leave all your stuff in the car, and especially don't leave it visible, because after all, you know, it's like a buffet for whoever wants to break into a car, because you know they know if a car is parked, it will usually be at least a moment, especially if it's in a parking lot and not just next to a bakery or something, you know, um, where they can just, you know, they can bash in the window. There's probably nobody nearby for quite a while, and they can just grab the stuff you leave in there. So you kind of want to, I don't know, at least cover. Come on, you can do this, Aloy. It hurts me as well, but it's the game. We need the ingredients. I mean, the off chance, you know, the likelihood of jinxing something is, you know, 0, unless, I mean, it's, I guess it's a psychological thing, you know. If you're getting arrogant enough to say, oh well, nothing can happen, then of course you're bound to make mistakes. So that's how I rationalize it away anyway. So yeah, it's not on the off chance that I might, well, sort of, I guess, yeah, Bones. I don't know. It's just an inconsistency in my character, I guess, that I've kind of, I guess it comes a bit from doing theater, because in theater there are certain rules that, you know, like you know, don't whistle on stage, don't mention the Scottish play, some things like that, and or don't name the Scottish play is really what it is. Which are some really, you know, like weird and specific rules that don't really, you know, do anything. I like how she just knows where the enemy is in this deep grass. But yeah, so you kind of, and like you had certain rituals that you just did for a play, and personally I see it more like, you know, it's a psychological thing. It's you know, if you do certain rituals before a play, it kind of helps your mind get into the mindset of, I'm doing a play now, you know, like if there are certain actions that you always associate with the play is about to start, then your body will kind of get used to that and say, oh, I just did that action. The last time I did that, I had to stand for an hour and speak a lot and things, so like I don't know, your mucus glands will start producing a little more so you can speak longer, and you know, things like that, where just like your body is getting ready, and so maybe it's sort of more that, like the preparations, like you know, like you're not even, you know, like the whole spitting over someone's shoulder, which is like a figurative, so you just say t -t -t over their shoulder, and that's just a silly ritual, but you kind of do it, and you know, it kind of makes you all, you know, to have shared customs, makes you all you know, more of a group, and you know, so there's, and just, yeah, primes your body and mind that this thing that you've been doing a couple of times will be happening again, and so the body kind of gets your circulation pumping and things like that. So that works well. And some of the things that you do there are totally superstition, and you just get, you know, used to not doing that. And you know, when someone says things like, oh, what could possibly go wrong, my first instinct is to find the nearest bit of wood and knock on it, which is, you know, like it's a pointless gesture. It doesn't do anything, but you kind of don't do it. Or the whole, like here in Germany, it's considered Yeah, it's ritualistic, and that's, you know, rituals have a purpose. They are triggers. It's like psychologically, it has been proven that rituals have these functions. They, of course, they, you know, like if you look at fascist governments and things, they have their rituals. They have their, you know, like I don't know, um, uh, you know, like their parades and their everything to kind of cause a group cohesion, and um, you know, they try to make them more of a unit. Like if you spill salt, you throw some of it over your shoulder. Yeah, that's something that I in particular don't do, but yeah, that's one of the things that I've heard, and I really wonder where that ritual comes from. Like if it was just, you know, some of the like some rituals are just absurd. It's like there was once this experiment that
We don't deserve this. We kept the faith there. The heretics. Not
so there is a experiment that they once did with chickens, where they gave so you know this experiment where they have chickens in a coop, and they have an oops, sorry, I was probably very quiet for a while. I forgot to put my microphone back down again. Um, so so they put chickens in a coop, and they had an automatic food dispenser. There was one button in the corner. If the chickens pushed that, food would come out. And after a while, the chickens would figure out that there was a relation between pushing that button and getting food. But then, as a control experiment, what they did is they did the same setup, but the button did nothing, and the food dispenser just randomly dispensed food. And the chickens were actually looking for a reason why that food would come out there. And so they tried a lot of things, and in the end, the chickens became really weird and made all these ritualistic movements just because the last time they got food, they had done these 3 movements in a row. And some rituals are like that, like human rituals, where it's just people observed something, and there was something that coincidentally happened at the same time, and they made a connection where none was. And that's totally normal. Like human minds are pattern matching machines. They look for patterns in everything, and that's why we're good, because that means we figure out actual patterns. But that's how superstitions get created, which is that someone sees a pattern where none is, because we're not 100% logical, and not all the things we deduce are, you know, like based on empirical research. Okay, so we have to get back in there.
Who does Avad think he's fooling with?
And do the climby thing.
Have a better one.
And so, yeah, with this weird way of doing rituals.
I'll come back later.
Brighter days are coming.
That woman said to meet her at a green tent down in the camp. Might be worth a visit.
Wait, didn't we do that already? Oh, that's probably just a voice line. They assumed I would be doing the mission immediately, I guess, and since I did a few side missions before I came back here, and I guess that voice line isn't tied to the mission because I already did that quest. Is it? Okay, that might be. Well, that's a side quest. So he literally said errands. So I'm kind of hoping that I'm not screwing myself over. Maybe I should. One thing I should do is I'll quickly run back to that save point. and do a hard save,
Lots of whispers around Sunful about some sort of secret.
so that at worst I can go back off stream or something and do that side mission if it's not possible to do it. Okay. Now we're good.
Is it any wonder supplies are so slow to arrive?
Yeah, so the whole spilling salt and rituals. Well, anyway, and so where were we with that? Yeah, so I'm curious, like, where the... You know, like, you're spilling extra salt, so I don't really see the logic. It could be that it's kind of like you know how you... What's the phrase in English? You separate the wheat from the chaff, which is basically you throw up the grains that you've harvested, and the actual grains are heavier than, like, the surrounding, you know, like, leaves and stuff that you collect with them when harvesting. And so,
If you cause trouble,
if you throw them up, like, some of them will fall more slowly, and you can kind of collect the one and get rid of the other in the process. And if you do, I wonder if like throwing salt over your shoulder kind of had a function like that originally, where, you know, it said, well, throw it over your shoulder, which means it passes by the side of your eye, and then maybe if there's something, you know, like unclean, like if some dirt got into it or whatever, then maybe you see it, you know, or if it's just a totally if it's just a totally absurd thing to do. Okay, let's do this climb again. Maybe I can do it better than before, because the last time I did this, no. Okay, I'm dropping again. I should just save scum, you know. You know what? I'll just teleport back and try this again. I'm miffed now that I can't seem to do that jump. According to Wikipedia, it's to throw in the face of the devil, who apparently hangs out over your left shoulder. Sure, if they say it's like that, then it probably is like that, right?
We're talking about a man who killed his own father.
Shadow will rise. I just wish it'd rise a bit faster.
Shadow will rise, I just wish it right. They have, you know, like, it's like everything they say fits totally into this world. But on the other hand, the way they speak is, you know, like I'm used to seeing, you know, like old black and white photographs of like the 20s or something, and going
For you. Go on. Move.
and going.
were I a gambler,
Oh wait, I didn't restore my save, so that was totally pointless quick travel just now. Because I don't want to lose all that health if I did it wrong. Okay, so... Alright, is it here? No. Where is the button to go back, restart from save? Yes. Okay, I wouldn't even have had to run back. One should think that he would have more interesting things to do. Yeah. I mean, I have really nice shoulders, so I can kind of understand how the devil would like to hang out there, but, you know, really, do you have to?
Eyes down, Outlander.
Yeah, so, I'm used to, like, looking at, you know, like, older photos, and they feel different because the technology has changed so much. But, there are, for example, thanks, I've had something to drink while I sneezed, but thank you, stay hydrated. But it's a good reminder. And to everyone else in chat, remember to drink something occasionally, especially if you're in Europe right now where it's unbearably hot.
Brighter days are coming, friend.
Anyway, so yeah, there are actually some early color film recordings from Nazi Germany. And so, in the history books, usually all I've seen were grayscale books of that time, grayscale photos of that time. And when I saw one of those color movies, it suddenly didn't look so far in the past anymore. Those people just started looking like us. And that was like one of those moments where, like, intellectually, yeah, they were kind of like you, but you kind of have this kind of like heightened picture of everyone of that time. It was, like, there were these evil people, and there were the good people who were in the resistance, and there were people who were, like, just trying to live and sadly help those people. Help the evil people by not resisting and things like that. And you go, yeah, that's not really but it feels like at arm's length. And like that last bit that actually makes it feel like those are really real people. And, like, you think, like, people's faces looked different, is what you think from the grayscale peoples, from the grayscale pictures, black and white pictures, I think is the actual word that one would use as a normal human and not as a total nerd like me. So yeah, the black and white pictures, and you looked at them, and it seemed different, but that was just because the color gradation, or black and white gradation in this case, like the contrast on those pictures is different, or many of the pictures you see that are this old are just faded, and so it looks like someone, like played with the contrast dials on most of those pictures, so you're used to it kind of looking different. And then you see like a color picture with a normal color gradation, and suddenly you go, well, hell, those are just normal people. And like, I have a friend who kind of likes to dress a little old-fashioned. He actually looks exactly like that guy from back then. Or, I mean, sometimes you're fortunate and you kind of see like a picture of a relative or something from that older time, and you go like, oh, this person has the exact same face as my father. And you look at that picture for a moment and you go like, oh, actually this, I can now see it's just my father. Or I had one thing where my father as a kid actually once like turned on it was like a reel-to-reel recorder, and recorded, and so we have a recording of like his father and mother, so my grandmother and my grandfather, just normally talking. And he played that recording for me once, and his father had the exact same voice he has. Just that he had a slightly different, like he had a slightly stronger dialect. And it was really weird, and it made me realize that, like how similar like people in a family can be and things like that. And yeah, so you kind of have this moment where you realize that, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, people were probably not that different. So all those, like Robin Hood shows that make Robin Hood seem so contemporary and so snarky, and you go like, oh, this is unrealistic, but it's kind of funny, and it's really too modern, but I'll accept it because it's fun, I think those are probably closer than the shows where, they're speaking like Shakespearean English or whatever. Because, yeah, of course there were slightly different dialects, but it's not, and, slightly different word choices the farther you go back. But, people are the same over decades, and so I like it in this game, to bring it all around again after these lengthy explanations, that the characters here have this way of saying things that make only sense in the context of this world. Like, praising the sun and talking about the shadow would fall faster because that's what these shadow Karja do. Like the Karja are a sun religion, and the shadow Karja are kind of not their Satanists in the sense that Satanists actually are, not Satanists in the way that you see them from movies where they're just bad guys, but rather they believe strongly that for there to be light there has to be darkness. So good and evil are kind of both, wanted by God, is I guess what one would say in a Christian context. Where there's also the thing that God wants all those things to happen. And but they say them the way a person from today would say them, and I don't think that is a oversight or bad writing. Actually, I think that's totally a good choice in this game. Okay, so let's try this a last time, and if we don't manage, then hopefully I'll at least fall towards the right. Okay, yeah, that works. Woo! We did it! Did you see that? Oh, so if I climb up here, what? Oh, I guess I climb down here. That's nice, okay. Like, one weird thing about this climbing is... Oh yeah, okay, I'm ending up here. Is that you can kind of just wildly climb to the next point, and since you won't drop unless, it's safe, you could just, pick down. By the way, this jumping over those posts, over those pointy things there, that's something you've done a couple of times over those up there. I mean, that's something you've done a couple of times in this game already, like in the tutorial, basically at the start of the game. Okay, drop down, please. This button. At least we are down here with full health now, and this is where Silence told us to go. Yeah, anyway, so this jumping over those posts is actually, this kung fu maneuver is actually something we did early on as like a test as a youth. So, it's not that unusual. And it's actually, like, she snaps to the individual posts, but you have to get the initial jump right, and somehow I always manage to drop past it. Okay, so what did Bones say? I wanted to read that out and was so lost in my explanation. So, yes, Germany was pretty far when it came to color. Can't remember if they made any strides forward in sound. Yeah, most of those movies were not sound, but I mean there are a lot of old recordings. Some of them sound a lot tinny, but still there are a lot of old recordings available, so you can kind of piece together how the world sounded when pictures were still black and white. And I mean, they had, I mean, it was like in the 20s recording was unusual. And I guess reel-to-reel, that's probably more 60s, is it? So you might not get like the oldest recordings, but it still might be a time from which you have few color photographs because, not everyone had a color camera yet. Or developing color film was more expensive, things like that. Do you remember that? When cameras actually had film and you had if you had a good camera, or a modern camera, you had this small film that was like 36 pictures in one little can. Or if you were taking more artsy photos, then you had these big rolls of film that were I don't know, like the height of your palm or something, or depends on the size of your palms. Like mine are a little smaller, actually. And these, so the film was almost as large as the resulting picture, but that means you could blow up the pictures and get real nice zoomed in pictures or whatever you wanted. But you always had to you had only, I think it was 12 or 16, something like that, photos on one roll, and then you had to take it out, be careful not to unroll it by accident so you didn't get light on it and destroy your pictures. and then take those rolls and mail them in or take them to the store and have them developed, and then you got them back like 2 weeks later or something. And the fun thing was, you didn't know whether any of your pictures were any good until that point. Like before that, that's... I mean, I guess most people in here are probably old enough to remember that, but that's kind of like something I haven't thought about it in... It's probably 20 years now, right? That like, I don't know, in... Well, 10, 15 maybe, if you got a digital camera early on. But like 15 years ago, film was the majority. Like, I remember... you had to remember to get them developed before the film degraded too much. Yeah, that sometimes as well, right. Yeah, like the film would kind of get worse the longer you had it undeveloped. Because essentially they were, like chemicals, and they were light sensitive, and of course light has many forms, so like there might be, like it might not be shielded from all kinds of light, and so over time the silver... What is it, silver oxide or whatever you put on film, really, that actually does the light thing. It changes when light touches it.
Just a little wind, just bending the trees.
Yeah, anyway, so, yeah, a bit of nostalgia for if there's any people who are, I don't know, 5 years younger than me or something, that might be... You might have just missed that as part of your conscious development, You might just not have had a camera before you got your first digital. And, like, digital is lovely and great, and I wouldn't want to change it. Because now I can just go and, like, I take random pictures, I see roughly, I see exactly what the picture will be, or, like, I see at least, like, which part of the picture I got. I can review it after I've taken it and delete it if it was totally nonsense. And, it doesn't really cost much. Like, you go there and you just take 500 pictures. I take pictures just to remind me of the opening hours of a shop. That's much faster than getting out a slip of paper and a pencil and writing down the opening hours of a shop and then putting them on my pinboard or whatever. I just take a picture and then look at my phone when I want to know, is that shop still open or something. There's so many things you can do with a digital camera because it's so cheap. I'm glad I don't have to pay for all the pictures that I take of our cat. Grins. Yeah, totally. Yeah, and you said this climbing thing actually gave you a little bit of vertigo. Okay. Now, I'm actually pretty good, like, at least in this game, the angles and the field of view is actually pretty good to not give me vertigo. I'm not a fan of looking straight down in real life, but here it actually works for me. Okay, so let's go in there and finally get going. We only have an hour left. Well,
I'm heading down.
hour and a half.
I've spent a lifetime trying to uncover the secrets of this world. Where the machines came from. How the old ones achieved such marvels only to fall into silence and death. A lifetime of failure. As year by year, decade after decade, I hit walls I could not break, doors I could never breach.
Hello.
Until a Nora huntress marched out of the savage east. And voila, for her, all the deepest secrets of the earth were laid bare. I suspect you will have an easier time with this door than I did years ago.
Hold for identiscan.
It still thinks we're Mummy.
Genetic profile confirmed. Entry authorized. Malfunction. 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 Malfunction.
You kidding me?
You don't hear me laughing.
Shut up. There's gotta be another way. Hey! Elizabeth Sobeck here! Requesting access!
Access request acknowledged. Root command functions available. Do you wish to proceed?
I do! Get me through this door!
Analyzing. Primary access inoperable due to mechanical failure. Emergency venting procedure likely to circumvent blockage. Do you wish to proceed?
Yes.
Emergency venting authorized.
Yeah, that,
I underestimated you. I think by now I...
Guess you can't have everything.
That will draw attention. We won't have this place to ourselves for long now.
We? Last I checked, I was the one whisking my life down here.
Yes, fine. Now will you please get moving? There's so much to learn in less time than I'd hoped.
he's always a little picky here. Yeah. Anyway, so this small excursion into...
To Project Zero Dawn.
Zero Dawn. We found it.
Are you really so surprised?
Facility diagnostics detect multiple failures. Attempting repair.
So, what was this room?
An entrance hall, perhaps. Have a look around.
Yeah. Looks pretty much like that. Another incident. Okay, reading time. From lounge staff to admin. Subject, another incident. This morning's unfortunate incident with Dr. Popovich is another example of the reception's need for additional support. We appreciate that Zero Dawn is an immensely complicated project, but as the staff who serve on the front line, we're tired of being neglected. As we have already requested, we need human translators fluent in Polish, for example. Security staff who can subdue enraged embryologists, for example. And thermal sedatives to calm persons who are screaming in Polish while hurling chairs and vases at reception staff, for example. Yes, most of the candidates are reasonably calm and well-behaved, but we need help handling the exceptions to that rule. Please respond. Okay, so there was a Polish doctor who was enraged and who did embryology. Interesting. Why do they need embryology for Project Zero Dawn? I thought it was a weapon against machines. The thick plottons, as the saying goes. And yes, I know that was the wrong way around. Is there? Oh, there's something more behind there. You think they mind if I sit down at this desk for a while and pretend I'm the receptionist? Always wanted to have that job for a while. Not like forever, but you know, it sounds like a fun thing to do for a week or so at the right place. From reception staff to admin. Subject, we need support too. Reception staff continues to require additional support managing ZD candidates. Okay, I guess that means Zero Dawn candidates when they arrive at the facility. Many are frightened or confused. Some are highly agitated. These are not the sort of persons who are accustomed to having information withheld from them. At minimum, we need human translators. The Langbots are not sufficient. And mild sedatives for the extreme cases. Any and all support would be welcome. Perhaps you could start by responding to one of these mails? So that seems to be the same theme that we had elsewhere, that they had people working on stuff, but like the higher-ups weren't really responding.
I'll find a use for you.
Okay. Let's see if that works. It does.
Please take a seat and wait for your name to be called. A selection of beverages and snacks are available.
A smaller room.
Okay, that's the waiting room. With couches. Fossilized couches. Anything useful to see here? Oh, that door. Heavily shielded, seal integrity maintained. I guess not after we've opened it. Soundproofing. Lounge staff to admin, subject soundproofing. Would it be possible to improve the soundproofing between VR1 and the lounge area? Most of the candidates stay quiet during the presentation, but the ones who scream or sob can be plainly heard by candidates waiting their turn in the lounge. Just a thought. Okay, so... and fossilized snacks as well. Yes, genetics play a part in the weapon. Yeah, the thing is... genetics, what use would genetics be in a weapon against machines, you know? That's kind of what I'm wondering. And also, apparently, people don't seem to be happy about what Zero Dawn does. If they, start crying and yelling.
For an important message regarding the purpose of your visit.
I love these explory sections. Like, that's why, you know, main reason I play this game is like the story bits and these where you can walk around and just discover parts of the story and start guessing. Restock or else. For the 5th time, please restock the lounge's selection of herbal teas. If I have to listen to one more egghead throw a tantrum because we're out of the organic cucumber mint or blackberry sage varietals, I'm going to lose it. Please respond, and this time no tempest in a teapot or steep demand jokes, okay? This is like a normal human office. I wonder if the coffee is still good. The weapon might be a human hybrid. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we're the descendant of the weapon or something, and that's why everything here works. Okay, nothing to see here. Move along. I'm kind of curious how these places like looked when they were new. Like you can see some... oops, I didn't want to jump over this. You can see that there's apparently wood here. Inlaid, so it was probably a little fancier. But like it's hard to make out like where those, like are these walls what's left over of the substructure once, you know, the wall has you know, like the paint has peeled off and the stucco, or is it you know, was this just a cold metal military base that is now yeah, fossilized, basically. I don't think there was a way through over there, is there? Nope. Would have a light, I guess. So let's continue on then. Or they're doing something like the aliens did in XCOM. Yeah, I don't remember what the aliens did in XCOM, actually.
What was this place?
A holographic theater.
CD01 data intact. Initiating playback.
Ooh, now we get a story. Ooh. We'll find out what's going on.
Zero Dawn. I am General Harris, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States of America. I'm sure you've heard the rumors that Zero Dawn is a top-secret super-weapons program, the technological miracle that will save us from the Pharaoh Plague, if Operation Enduring Victory can hold off the robots long enough. The reason I'm sure you've heard the rumors is that I'm the one who spread them, and they are all lies. Zero Dawn is not a super-weapons program, and it will not save us. Nothing will save us. And here's why. By the time the glitch was noticed, it was already too late. Nothing could stop the Pharaoh Plague. Nothing can. Its robots will continue to replicate and devour the biosphere. Life on Earth will be destroyed. Our planet reduced to a barren sphere. Global extinction is inevitable. No matter how many we kill, the robots just keep exponentially making more. If we had their deactivation codes, we could shut them all down. The entire swarm. But since their cryptographic protocols use polyphasic entangled waveforms, cracking a code set would take half a century. At best, we've got 16 months. Not exactly what you'd call a survival option. The destruction of a biosphere is not the sort of apocalypse you can wait out in a fallout shelter or a space station. There will be no Earth left to reclaim. Just a lifeless, toxic rock with several million Pharaoh robots on it, hibernating, waiting for something to eat. This is the horrible truth behind the lies of Operation Enduring Victory. My lies. Lies designed to inspire millions of innocents to sacrifice themselves in battle. Why? One reason. To buy time for you and the work you will do here. Zero Day, the day that life on Earth ceases to exist, is coming fast. It cannot be stopped. The hope of Zero Dawn is that something new might come after. But I will leave it to Elizabeth Sobek to shine that thin ray of light into the darkness. Harris, out.
Or in V, the TV series.
That doesn't make sense. Life on Earth didn't cease to exist.
He said it could not be stopped.
But it was. Somehow Elizabeth saved us. I've got to keep looking. Find out how she did it.
Or in V, the TV series. So yeah, you mean like they use humans as food or something? Or like poisoning the food or what? Is there... I don't know, it kind of... I don't remember how V would relate to Zero Dawn, but maybe that was before this revelation. So let's see, there's nothing to scan here. I guess they really want us to focus on whatever comes next.
Kestrels. They got in. Through the vents.
Let nothing stop you from learning the truth.
Spread out! If it moves, kill it! What is this place? Tomb?
Let's see, do we want to set some traps? I guess. I wanted to explore some more. I guess that's one of those uh-oh. I have the wrong weapon.
Got someone to fight here. What else you got? Take another.
Oh, I didn't want to. I wanted to loot them first. Oh.
You provoked the sun's rays. Let me die.
We're too close to let tribal primitives stop us now. The data points, what did they contain?
Okay, I guess we got them all. So let's see. Did I? Oh, audio data point.
Alpert, environmental scientist. Doctor?
I'm sorry, I wasn't,
Just stating your name. What were you thinking about, Doctor?
Nothing the General said, not really. I was on the Syzygy East Response Team in 2051, just after the second earthquake compromised the reactor. I still dream about it, after all these years. The red zone spreading on the imaging, slowly, so slowly, like a hand opening its fingers.
Your involvement in that event is why you were asked for by name.
Really? That's interesting. Because nothing worked. Nothing could grow there again. It was a catastrophic failure. But the red zone is a blip compared to global-scale biomass reduction. The biosphere and hydrosphere will collapse, render the Earth uninhabitable long before the robots finish us. Enduring victory can't buy time against that. So, you'd better show me what Zero Dawn really is.
Okay. Well, luckily, I guess I didn't get the spoiler, which is good. I hope nobody else got spoiled. Okay, counselor guidelines. For debriefing after presentation 1, candidates must be allowed to ask questions and be given the necessary time to fully absorb the information they have received. It is important to be aware that candidates have just been exposed to triggers for severe mental and emotional trauma. Do not assume silence or outward calmness indicates acceptance. It is essential to stress that all other options for combating the Pharaoh Plague and preserving the continuation of human life have been considered and found unworkable. Communicate this fact calmly but clearly and firmly. Familiarize yourself with data on the catastrophic environmental impact of nuclear engagements versus the swarm, Addendum B1, and unfeasibility of maintaining of life in orbital, lunar, or undersea structures, Addenda C1, C2, C3, so that you can counter candidates' objections in depth. That's good, this text is basically giving us the rationale for victory doesn't work. That's actually a nice way to do it. It's actually talking to us as the player, but in a really in a logical. Of course, they would have had to do that to the other characters that came through here as well. I love that from a game design point of view. If a candidate asks for time alone to review supplementary information, allow this without hesitation. Be sure to inform security personnel so the candidate can be monitored for attempts at self-harm. Candidates should only be cleared to proceed to presentation 2 if you believe their mental state is sufficiently stable. Note that real-time support will be available via your focus. Security and medical crisis teams are data corrupted. Okay. I don't like that they call these things data points. It seems like a programming term that has leaked out into the world, instead of a term that someone would actually use here. I don't know. I can't come up with a better
I'm sure you now
term right
understand
now.
the urgency of why we brought you here, Ms. Okilo.
Captain Okilo, are you trying to thank me for not resisting?
I believe we couldn't negotiate a diplomatic solution.
When it came to my country's lithium, it was always a swarm that would be sent to negotiate. Metallurgic International, U.S. Robot Command. The markings changed, but the robots were the same.
You have had considerable experience in human-robot conflict.
Yes, and I've got the prosthetic limbs to show it. Yet I continue to face this horror, even though the challenge was great. Cyber warfare. I thought Zero Dawn would be a Manhattan project to generate the deactivation codes. With the resources I had, I estimated code breaking to be a hopeless endeavor. I was almost looking forward to being proved wrong.
Unfortunately, your estimation was correct.
As your General Hera said. So then, you did not bring me here to commiserate. What is left?
Information Warfare Specialist NAC. Whoops. I always forget that you don't use the go back button, the circle button, to get out of these of focus things. You just push the analog stick down again. Seems kind of Shadowrun-ish. Okay, there's a tunnel that I guess will be our way through because all the doors are locked. Run, Felder. Oh, it's audio.
Let's cut the mystery. You're building a colony ship. It's obvious. And it's not gonna fly. I mean, literally. Remember the Odyssey? That multinational heap of space junk that's been in graveyard orbit since '57? That went nowhere real slow. And you have to get somewhere real fast. Do you have any idea the immensity of the challenge to prep a new colony ship in time?
To be clear, I'm not a worker on the project.
Do you even understand how few people it could save? The whole generation ship concept is not gonna happen. It's the first thing you'd abandon in favor of embryonics. For that kind of storage, we're talking a lot of bulk, a lot of power, a lot of resources. So even if you do it, even if you build it and point it at Sirius X, there's no room for people on that thing, all right?
If you could try to remain calm.
You people are crazy if you think you're getting off this rock. No one's getting off.
Medical.
You know, I feel sad for that guy, but, you know, he gave us pretty much all the information we needed. Oh, that door just unlocked itself. So why is there a corridor over there? I think I'll explore the corridor. But, you know, like he told us, like he scientifically, although he didn't realize it, he figured out that, yeah, the data point thing feels like a Shadowrun term, you mean. Yeah, it kind of has that cyberpunk vibe to it, but not really, doesn't really feel like something someone would say here. So let's see if there's anything interesting in here. Well, at least there are corridors here. Oh, I'm missing a bit of health, I just realized. Better fill that up before we get surprised by someone and okay. Yeah, so this guy in that voiceover actually, you know, like figured out kind of that it, you know, what the general said, that they're not thinking we can be saved. And he mentioned embryonics again, which is interesting. Where am I now? Oh, I just went round once. Okay, I just went back then. Oh, okay, that was the closed door and the next room. Where did this... Okay, that's where I went, I guess. Okay, so I got turned around, that's it. Yeah, right, this is where I heard the audio. Okay, now I gotcha. Oh. This is where I came from. And so this is not the room I went back... Oh, okay, this is the next room. Okay, good. So let's search this dead guy. But I guess we came... Oh yeah, we came in here. I don't actually remember having turned left. So I got turned around somehow. seemed like it almost automatically opened a door. Is there anything over here? Oh. Interview.
You previously worked for Faro Automated Systems.
On the chariot line self-replication routines. I came here thinking this was a rendition. When your people took me, I thought, about time. I've been trying to swallow the guilt every day since...
Would you like to take a moment?
No, I really hoped Zero Dawn was a way to undo it all. My work. And I'm sorry to say I was ever proud of it, but Ted could really sell a concept, and in the labs, in the light of creation, that first test run, when you saw they understood their own structures, could rebuild themselves from memory and light, there were no limits. God, there were no limits.
Okay.
Want to discuss?
Whew. So Mama, she was right.
Pardon?
My mother, she took her Bible real serious. Not just Texas Bible serious, Pentecostal serious. Favorite chapter? Revelations. Now, I didn't always understand her on account of all that speaking in tongues and such, but when she did use her words, there was always end times this and lake of fire that on account of sinful lifestyles. Speaking of which, mind if I smoke?
A tobacco cigarette.
Sorry, darling. My taste run classic. Compliments to your team tracked me down. Been a price on my head 18 months now. Sterling Malkeith was me, don't mind admitting. Been plenty of snakesters chasing the bounty too. But I kept the zigging to their zag. How'd you finger me?
I believe Dr. Sobek listed you as an alpha candidate. Priority snatch and grab.
Always suspected she had a little thing for me. Hey, I don't suppose you got real coffee in this place. You know, blood coffee? Conflict cappuccinos?
Mr. Tate, I'm clearing you to proceed. Just go.
That interviewer really didn't enjoy that.
Is accurate, yes.
So these mechanical monstrosities, they don't just kill people. They feed off them.
Not just people, all organic matter.
Every living thing dissolved into nutrients. Millennia of evolution liquefied. The miracle of life reduced to bloody biofuel.
In a word, yes.
Who did this? Pharaoh? That arsehole. Is he here?
No, Doctor. Please.
Tell him Tom Pake wants a word. Now, get off! Get off!
Doc, please.
You get Ted Pharaoh in here!
Okay. Another unhappy person. But yeah, it kind of makes sense. Okay, bye Bones, have a good meeting. I hope it works well, and hope you have, you know, cookies and coffee and something. Might be nice. Okay, so that's the other side we could have gone down. Okay. Anyway, so what have we learned so far? I mean, this sounds like he just said, you know, that we're all food. So kind of, but you know, I haven't seen any humans, like they didn't show us humans being eaten by machines yet. So maybe they did achieve something where, you know, poisoning the well kind of thing, where humans did become impalatable as food for the machines, because otherwise, you know, why would we still be alive?
CD02 data intact. Initiating playback.
This can't be good.
You've heard the bad news, and it's all true. The Pharaoh Plague is devouring the biosphere. Life itself will cease to exist. But does that have to be the end? What if we could give life a future? What if we could build a kind of seed from which, on a dead planet, life could blossom anew? This is the aim, the hope, of Project Zero Dawn. To create a super-intelligent, fully automated terraforming system and bring life back from lifelessness. What would such a system require? At its core, it would need a true AI, fully capable of making the trillions of decisions necessary to reconstitute the biosphere. An immortal guardian, devoted to the reflourishing of life. We call it Gaia. Mother Nature as an AI. But that's just the core of the system. She will need to be surrounded and empowered by a comprehensive suite of subordinate functions. Think of them as extensions of Gaia's mind, each dedicated to a specific purpose. Now, these aren't AIs, but make no mistake, each presents an engineering challenge more profound than anything the human species has ever before attempted. Hardware that preserves and then gestates the billions of seeds and embryos from which life will be reborn. The construction of underground facilities to hold it all. And that's just the start. We don't have to build the entire system. The beauty of a fully automated terraforming system is that it can build itself. Now, over the days to come, you'll learn how all these functions, all these pieces that you'll be working on, fit together. How we'll race the clock to execute our harvest initiatives, write the software, build the tech and the facilities. How we'll lock it down and seal it up before the inevitable occurs. But even more important, you'll know how it doesn't end here. How Gaia will generate those deactivation codes General Harris talked about, and build the transmission arrays to broadcast them, shutting down the Pharaoh robots for good. How Gaia will not just build, but imagine any conceivable robot it needs to do its work across centuries. From detoxifying the Earth's ravaged atmosphere and poisoned seas, to the regreening of the Earth from cryopreserved seed stalks, to rewilding the Earth with animal life. And then, when all that is done, how a new generation of human beings, spawned at cradle facilities around the globe, will partake of Apollo, the vast archive of human knowledge and cultural achievement from which they will learn of us, our world. And most important, how not to repeat our mistakes. It's not an impossible dream. It is within our grasp if we work tirelessly and stop at nothing to achieve it. We can't stop life from ending. But if you will help me, help Gaia, we can give it a future. Join me and help make that future real.
Ouch.
So, the whole Earth destroyed, but then remade?
Yes. By a machine. A machine of creation.
Elizabeth did this. For life, for us. But why Hades then? If it was part of Gaia, how did it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh robot? And why does it want to kill me? And Apollo, the archive of knowledge, what happened to that?
I'm as confused as you are. Maybe the answers lie ahead.
Yeah. Did you see, like, the last item on the list, they put it, like, it's there. Yeah, no wonder people were crying, screaming. You've got that right, Bones, and nice to have you back. Yeah, it kind of seems really weird to like they were really sneaky about like the last item on the list was Hades, and if you notice, like its symbol was kind of like a on-off switch. So I don't know, like if I can like let me guess, like my thing is on-off switch. You know, Hades is the god of death in Greek mythology, I think. Not Roman, although, you know, there's enough overlap that I occasionally mix them up. But Hades sounds like a Greek word. Well, it doesn't sound like a Roman word. Let's go that far, because I know Latin, but I don't know Greek. Well, I know the word ethodoth, which means exit in Greek, but that's about all I learned. Yeah, ruler of the Greek underworld. Okay, yeah, thanks. Thanks, Bones, for confirming that. So anyway, so on off-switch, my suspicion is that Hades, since it's an on-off switch, I guess he's kind of supposed to retire the machines at the end. And probably that somehow didn't happen. Maybe because Hades went like, no, I don't want to die. I mean, it's a true AI, you know. And so Hades has been fighting Gaia to try and get back, you know, wrestle control back from the humans. Maybe something like that. Jeez, but yeah, this is no surprise people were sad. Maybe Hades is waiting for Persephone. Hi, Mel. Yeah, that would be another theory. Yeah. Maybe the wife is just not home yet, and he's waiting with dinner on her. I'm kind of a little suspicious because apparently I pushed a button when I started the cutscene, and so she was crouched, and so I thought when we came out of the cutscene that that the crouch was an indicator that I would soon be attacked, but apparently not. Make your selection. You are now in possession of information regarding the true nature and purpose of Project Zero Dawn, classified far above top secret. As such, we regret that you cannot be allowed to leave this facility. There are 3 options available to you at this point. Please consider each carefully. Trained counselors are standing by to assist you in making your choice. Oh, this can't be good. I know what one of those choices will be. Oh, hi Mel. You're officially very broken, also lacking a bit of blood. Oh no. Well, I guess the lacking a bit of blood, I hope that they will, I hope that was, like, for further investigation. Like, I hope they took a blood sample and you didn't just fall down and get a nasty gash or something. Okay, very broken doesn't sound good. I hope you'll be doing better. And I hope there is a way to fix it, even if it takes a while. Fan went a bit white when he saw all of the vials they took. Okay, so it was samples, thank goodness. Okay, good. At least that, you know, small mercies and all that. Okay, so well, at least that means they have a Mel to clone when Project Zero Dawn comes around. I think that's a good start then. We've got a good start for our stock of new humans. Participation 1. You'll be assigned to a sub-project team based on your area of expertise. You should be aware that the way forward will be difficult and the project's outcome is uncertain. You will be expected to work a minimum of 80 hours per week. Goodness. And your communications with family members will be strictly limited and monitored in real time. Okay, so that's what we saw in the other base when, you know, messages were held and things like that. That was this monitoring. Although no, wait, those were people who didn't know about Zero Dawn. They were Enduring Freedom people, right? But I guess even there they did it. Maybe they just do the same to family members to prevent the people in here from worrying too much. Upon successful completion of the project, you and your immediate family, or 2 persons of your choosing, will be transferred to the Elysium sealed habitat to live out the remainder of your natural lives. Okay, so Elysium, was that the base? Yeah, lots of samples. 2 different departments wanting to poke around in my genes. Jesus. When my mom came to Denmark from Uganda, they took so many blood samples that she passed out. She was very thin back then, though. Yeah, I'm super tired, Bones. Had a few wobbles while shaking, I guess? Or what is that? I don't think that's a word. Yeah, I'm kind of... yeah, but, yeah, I guess, I don't like, you know, like, have you ever had, like, what is it called, an access? It's like a little thing they poke into a vein in your arm or hand to, you know, like, and then they can do injections into that little hole, into that little pipe, instead of having to poke a new hole every time they want to give you some injection. You get that if you have a hospital stay. Shopping. Oh, okay. Had a few wobbles while shopping. Okay. Anyway, and this access thing, like, I looked at it and I hated it. But on the other hand, I knew what the alternative would be being poked with injection needles every time. So it's actually the better alternative. But it still feels disgusting to have this thing in your hand. You know it goes into a vein and it's sticking out there. And you kind of have to be careful not to, you know, like, jostle it or anything like that. So I guess your situation is kind of the same, where it goes like, well, you know, like having all these samples taken and things is not really fun, but on the other hand, you know, like the alternative is probably not much better, so it's actually a good sign that they're taking the samples. They've given up. They've not given up yet on you. You had morphine supplied through them on 2 occasions as well. You like them. Okay, yeah, I guess if morphine is something that doesn't annoy you, then that's actually helpful, yeah. Yeah, I don't really like anesthetics. Like, they make me feel so weird. That like anything that kind of makes my head go fuzzy is not really something that I like that much. So, yeah, about that. I think I had, like once I had, like, some slight surgery, and there I went, yeah, knock me out, this is the first time I have surgery, and yeah, but that was about it. Like, in general, just get it over with is usually my way to do it. Like at the dentist, for instance, I had them anesthetize my cheek once, and you know, like, it was just so annoying afterwards that I went, okay, better have some pain before than have like a numb cheek and accidentally bite on it and stuff afterwards. Morphine is one of the few painkillers that can affect me if I let it. I got told off for walking around while on it, despite feeling fine. Yeah, well, I guess it's dangerous. I can understand that the doctors would be worried for, you know, like, if they are expecting you to pass out from an anesthetic any second now. yeah, they wouldn't really want you to, they don't want you to pass out and fall down. Totally understandable. Okay, let's find out what our other options are. 2. Indefinite detention. Should you choose to decline participation in Project Zero Dawn, you will be confined indefinitely. You will be given 48 hours to reconsider, after which your decision to refuse participation will be considered irrevocable. Okay, so I understand that because, like if you've been confined for a while, you might just say, oh yeah, I'll help you, after after you've been sitting there for a while and realized, and just to get out of there. Every reasonable effort will be made to make your term of confinement as comfortable as possible, but you will not be permitted contact with the outside world, and death within 18 months due to the Pharaoh Plague is inevitable. When the Zero Dawn facility is abandoned, detainees who wish not to opt for medical euthanasia will be released. Okay, so they will be in detention, but they're planning to shut down the facility before the end, and so then they let the people back out. That's interesting. Medical euthanasia. Well, they, like the released people wouldn't survive very long anyway. They were being spoil sports. You were fine. Yeah, well, but they probably, like it's better safe than sorry. And like someone falling down and causing additional wounds that then maybe postpone other important treatments or something, or make things worse. I can understand that they wouldn't do that. Also because anesthesia is something that, as far as I know, it's not really quite understood how it works. We just know and have proof that it works, and so when it doesn't work, they don't know why, or like whether you're just more resistant to it than others, and so it could be that it just takes longer for you, and so they were probably just not, they probably just were playing it safe. I can kind of understand that. I was still sore that I woke up from General just outside the surgery. You are not supposed to do that for hours. Okay, yeah, after general anesthesia. That's, yeah, you seem to be very resistant to that stuff. Okay, 3, and that is the option I knew that was called medical euthanasia. The information you have just received understandably calls into question the purpose of continuing to live. If you would prefer to end your life at this point, pain-free medical euthanasia is available. A 48-hour waiting period is required, during which time you may instead opt for participation or confinement. Please notify a counselor when you are ready to make your choice, or if you have further questions. Interesting. They really thought that through. And I'm saying that both of the people who organized this and the game developers. Counselor guidelines. For debriefing after Presentation 2, it is vitally important that candidates choose to participate in Project Zero Dawn voluntarily and knowingly, without additional coercion and without value judgment on the part of the counselor. Confirm for candidates that they were selected due to their skill sets and accomplishments. Emphasize that their dedicated participation in Zero Dawn will increase the project's chances of success. Frame participation in Zero Dawn as an opportunity to respond actively in the face of overwhelming threat. Candidates may question the fairness of their selection. Validate such objections as normal, even admirable responses. Emphasize the value of candidates' expertise to the future, not just of humanity, but terrestrial life as a whole. Likewise, candidates may balk at the morality of extending their lifespans and those of loved ones beyond 0 day. Validate their hesitation. Acknowledge that while the reward of Elysium is not fair, it will be earned. If possible, redirect their ethical misgivings towards greater commitment to the project. When candidates challenge the plausibility of Project Zero Dawn, permit them to review Dr. Sobeck's presentation as many times as they wish, and allow access to supplemental articles G01 through P20. Allow them to suspend the interview to fully process this documentation. A significant minority of candidates will elect for medical euthanasia. It is important to receive this decision kindly and without judgment. Advise them of the 48-hour waiting period during which counselors will be available to discuss their decision. Emphasize that euthanasia will not occur without repeated consent when the procedure is scheduled to take place. No one will be euthanized against her or his will. Candidates who elect indefinite detention must be informed that they have 48 hours to reverse their decision, after which the decision data corrupted. Basically, no one believes my resistance to pain-killing anesthetic until they see it in action. Survival of the species. I guess no measure is too much. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, you know, if you're not just going, oh well, I guess I'll give up then you'll try to cross all the T's and dot all the I's. Or was it dot all the T's and cross all your I's? No, wait. Voice recording, formerly of Pharaoh, Brad Andak.
Of course I'll do it. To be given the opportunity to rebuild what the damage that I don't feel worthy of it, but I will do it, absolutely.
I want to stress that this was never about your culpability.
It is to me. Dr. Sobeck, Margot, they were smart to get out of Pharaoh when they did, but not one of us took it as a warning sign. It just told ourselves that we're cut out for the BTRI cabals. That's the better than rapid innovation. A better at competing, better than the next guy, a better killing machine. Isn't it just amazing how a century and a half of science fiction did nothing to swerve our species from the path of doom? I mean, I'm done with that life. I mean, I will work hard, twice as hard, to earn this, for my family to have a place in Elysium. I never thought that there could be atonement.
Okay, that's a silver lining in a really bleak situation. Susan Alpert, interview 2, okay.
If you're still nauseous.
No, the inhibitors have kicked in. I can't feel the back of my tongue. I wish I could tell you I'd believe in this. But the damage is too great, too extensive, too complete. With all respect to Dr. Sobeck's work at Miriam, no. No, life doesn't always find a way to keep going. Sometimes it never comes back. Like Syzygy East, like the Congo, like Timor, like us. That's our reward? A buried city full of terminal patients waiting out the clock?
You'd grow old together, with your loved ones, in safety.
I don't have loved ones. I suppose I could start a family?
I'm afraid not. All inhabitants of Elysium will be medically sterilized. A habitat capable of sustaining a starting base of 2,000 individuals for up to 100 years is a huge challenge, Dr. Alpert. If the population grows instead of diminishes, everyone will be dead inside 30 years.
I knew it. I just couldn't bring myself to say the words.
I'm sorry?
Finish it. Medical euthanasia. I want no part of this. I just want it over.
I see. Protocols require a 48-hour waiting period, after which...
Okay. So the nice German lady apparently doesn't want to take part in this project. That is very sad. Cross your eyes and spot the T's, yes. Spot the T's is what you do in golfing, right? Sobek, that's the Egyptian crocodile god. Right, Bones, I hadn't even thought of that. And here I prayed Assassin's Creed Origins.
Is he to make sure I behave this time?
Security, for your protection. Would you like to discuss how you're feeling?
Sure. I'll tell you. Surprised. No, flabbergasted. Like my own man would say, flabbergasted. That vein pumping in his forehead. I thought you people were just completely underprepared for a spaceflight project. But now I can see it's worse. Much worse. Sobek is a total fantasist, a dangerous fantasist. This kind of blue skying, it's... Jesus. I'm sorry we wasted each other's time. I'm ready to leave now.
I'm afraid that's not possible.
Everything you're talking about here isn't possible.
I recommend you read the documents regarding your options.
I've seen enough. I'm getting out of here. What are you... You don't... Get your hands off me!
That didn't go too well. Okay, so what did the robot voice of this place say? Will he say it again? Interesting though, I mean, yeah, like 1/3 actually went through with it of the people we heard. Which, you know, they said like a minority will decide not to do it. Oh well, they said a minority would go for euthanasia. Stranded shackles? Interesting, what is this? Inventory. Resources. Special items. Is it a resource? It's a golden fast travel pack. Huh, where did that go? What are stranded shackles? Stranded shackles, very rare. This mysterious item is valuable only to the most curious merchants. Shackles made from an unknown smooth material. I guess those are just, I don't know, handcuffs or something? I don't know. Okay. Anyway. Nothing here, I guess. Let's see if there's anything here. This looks like it goes up, and I don't think there's anywhere to climb here. So my guess is this is our way back down. If we go up somewhere in the process of this mission. Restraints for the patients. Yeah, something like that, likely. Seems like the only thing that makes sense. The weird thing is I'm trying very hard not to think about what I would do in this situation. At least not while I'm on stream, because I think that's getting a little too existential for me right now to still provide a good stream for you. But it's I love it about this game that they've yeah, well, spelling differences. That Sobek is spelled with a C here. I guess it's just, you know, like, it's been handed down from Egypt, so, you know, it was a completely different writing system, and I guess it's just 2 transcriptions ago or something. You know, like, just look at how many people are named Shepherd, and, you know, some with 2 P, some with 1 P, things like that, you know. Or Smith and, what is it, Smithy. Like all the different spellings that they have for certain last names that are really old. So I think those Spelling differences are not surprising. Anyway, I love this about this game, that you get to like that they put such an effort into giving you like a believable world and a believable story. And how they tell it and how they built this world. I would really like if we could do the whole of this mission without a boss fight.
Get her! Whatever you do, don't die now.
Oops. Where are you? Okay, the middle one is... Oh, they all have... They're all heavies. Goodness. Okay, let's see. Maybe throw some...
That hurt. Not gonna die.
Just be my
Only.
Oh.
Oh, my cards of blood.
Okay. Get back in here just for a second. Okay, that had a bit of backwash. Okay, after lunch, Bones, have a nice lunch then. Yeah, yeah, I still have half an hour, so I hope that's enough for this mission. It's nice that we have that many of these weapons. I'm kind of worried that they're...
This'll do.
No, I didn't want to pick that up yet. Okay. They're giving me that many, like, was it just supposed to be a... Oh, okay. 6 shock traps is what he has, okay. And apparently he's not quite dead yet. Did you see that? Him like going shake, shake, shake. Loot his teeth! Yes, yes. I want his teeth. Apparently I'm descended Sobek, so I should probably be interested in crocodile. So let's see what else they got in story here.
Zero Dawn. It is art, in a way. An expression on the grandest scale. But there is so much unfairness. Why was I chosen? Was it decided by committee? By algorithm? My family will be saved because I happen to graduate in art. My family will be saved because I happen to graduate in art history? Is this right?
Dr. Sauvé? Christina Sauvé?
Yes. I met a man, another historian. His fields are Bauhaus and the New Materialists. But he once attended one of my talks. Another unfair chance. Of all the many people in that auditorium, that we should both be here now. And yet, I feel more accepting of my fate. No, it is not fair. Not at all. But for the sake of my family, for the sake of art. Art is alive. It must be able to speak from beyond history and echo in the future, not perish into oblivion. This opportunity, I must do this.
That voice actress seemed familiar, like I would place her in Mass Effect Andromeda. Oh, thanks for the host, Mel. Okay, let's refill our ammo if we can. As we don't know, the best boss fight will be next boss fight will be around the corner.
Got too much already.
Wait, did we leave Blaze behind here? No, metal vessel, okay. Then it's not that bad, so let's see what this is.
Now,
voice
those lame FBI black hats at Mockingbird back in the day, I enjoyed schooling them. But maybe I went in too hard on this poor counselor. She was cute, and just going down a checklist after all. Couldn't expect her to see how ridiculous Zero D's ambitions are. God's own budget thrown at a kid playing with a hologram sculptor? Palms up, honey. I'm just calling it like it is. Hey, look, Mom, I'm making nature. Now, if nature is so important, why not let nature take its course? Extinction? That's natural. Zero Dawn? No, ma'am, that ain't. Heck, it's so unnatural to be called an abomination back home, and you know it. That's why you're hiding it. Meanwhile, my little honey of a counselor, she's munching the inside of her cheek. Bad habit. She chewed one of her nails, too, just one. Not your day, was it, little sweet pea? Saw her quota slipping away. Said, I assume you intend to decline the assignment, Mr. Tate. You kidding me? 18 months hard labor in exchange for 30 years lounging around Elysium watching porn? Sign me up.
At least he's willing to put in the labor. I guess that's good.
I hashed it out with them, what the point of Artemis was. I made it clear I wasn't on board for a global zoo. We haven't exactly proved ourselves to be great custodians in the past few thousand years. So the idea of a reconstituted biosphere, well, it's horrifying, isn't it? A complete horror show. We have no right to take a best guess at this stuff. But the alternative? Nothingness. For there to have been all this and then nothing. And with Charles Ronson running the show, I respect him. He's got a passion to him. He's hot-blooded. So I said I'll do it. I'll put my all into this, literally. When the project is done, I'll take the medical option, thank you. Counselor said I might change my mind. I told him that he didn't know me very well then. For life's sake, I'll do the dirty work. But I want no part of this pathetic, attenuated future on offer. I'm an outdoors man. Never did like the feel of solid-state lighting on my skin. And a wee bit of a claustrophobe, anyway.
I like the accents in here. Like, they have good selection. Anyway, I think I mentioned that the voice actress sounds like I heard her in Mass Effect Andromeda or something at least. I think with an even stronger British accent or whatever she had. So that's interesting. Just realized, can I do more potions? Yes, okay, good. Kind of trying to prepare for whatever they're throwing my way. I'm all up on health now, I guess, and let's see how far I can carry.
Here we go. Another one of these. Need to find the right configuration.
Oh, okay, it's one of those switchy things. I guess we'll drop that then.
There's a part missing. Maybe there's a storage area nearby.
Okay, part missing. Let's see what this one says. Come on.
Hey, I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay? Somehow, he managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed, send him up to storage for a new emitter, not me. Parker out. Hey, I'm done with Brett's incompetence, okay?
Yes, yes, I heard
He
it.
managed to install an H-emitter node backwards. Everything's in reverse. I don't get paid to clean up Brett's messes. If you want it fixed, send him up to storage for a new emitter, not me. Parker out.
So I guess we're going up wherever that is. Okay. Such a nice accent they have here. What is this? Okay, locked doors. I understand the game mechanic of, you know, marking doors clearly as this is a door you don't have to bother with right now. And this is a door you can go through, you know, because like in a natural space you'd expect a certain amount of doors and things. But on the other hand, you would interesting, where does it want me to go? Oh, okay. I guess I'll have to climb somewhere. Huh. How do I get up there? Huh. This will be interesting. Let's see. Quiet settings for nearby hololocks. Oh, it says everything's backwards. So the question is, do we even have to go up? No. We just have to do the reverse. The question is, does backwards mean flipped? Or does it mean like everything is the opposite? Okay, so I guess that means let's try just the opposite. So this one goes towards the right. This one goes down. This one goes to the right. And the last one is left. Oh no, wait. Is someone missing? So, right, down, right, up, left. Okay. That doesn't seem to have done anything. But I guess since the other side maybe isn't on. So the question is, where do we find a storage closet? Let's see, here we are. Born to be kings. We're the princes of the universe. Guess that's the... I'm trying to think. I think this is where we came from. Yeah, it has to be because that's the only place we can get. So let's puzzle a little. Anyone have any ideas? Okay, let's... No, wait, this is the wrong end. Bunker door. Oh, wait. This has... Oh, that's the one we're trying to unlock with that machine. So those wires probably go here. Wait, let's assume that this one is the wrong, that's backwards, and that backwards was just metaphorical, and I've done it wrong here. Okay, so switch those all to the actual settings. Up. Oh, I just have to flip each one. Never mind, I can do this. And this one. 1, 2.
Done. I should check the door nearby.
Okay, yeah, so that was just the door lock. And now hopefully we can find parts there somewhere. For the other machine. Nobody's yelled yet, so I guess I don't have to crouch. That looks suspiciously like a storage. Oh, there's some going up here. That's nice. Okay, and now we're up there in the room. Okay, and there's the rope that we were hopefully able to cross. Key component of mid-21st century hololock. Oh, that's probably what we want.
Looks intact.
It looked fossilized, but I guess, well... maybe that's just my anticipation. Here's a supply crate. Just
Forget about traveling light.
Oh, how's our health? No, our health is full. So we can't take the full health potion with us by drinking another one. Okay. That's fine. Install this. Interesting, it's
trick.
Not the usual.
Let's get that door open.
Okay, up. Left, down, right, up. Left. Down. No. Right. Should be it, right? Up. Left. Down. Right. Up. Okay, so this one is the flipped one. And that's why... okay, so now I have to... Let's try if they're just opposite. Or if they're actually flipped in some direction. They're making it slightly more puzzly, which I like. I love puzzles. Hi Vaughn, how's it going? Wait. We were right, so we need to do one more counterclockwise, then I forgot. That's not it, apparently. Down, right, up, left, down. Okay, so it's not that, so I guess they're just flipped then. So that means up stays up. Left is right. Down stays down. Right is left. And the last one should be up. Huh. Doesn't work at all. Okay, so it could be that up and down are flipped and left and right aren't. So let's just flip them all one last time. And if not, then I must have made a mistake in one of them.
That did it.
Okay, that was
power.
Now to see what lies beyond it.
Third option. just to be safe, let's take this plaything with us. Or maybe drop a few of them here. What? Where does it want me to go? Back there, okay. I didn't even know which door I was working on, apparently. But as long as Aloy knows what she wants to do, we're fine. Oh, this door, okay, fine. So... Oh.
Eclipse. They're here.
Avoid contact.
Lines look good.
Gaia. It's up there. Second floor.
Can you reach it?
So much for avoiding contact.
Okay, kill the Eclipse. Okay, and I couldn't take those guns with me. That's a pity. Jeez, don't scare me with that music here. Also works better when going up slopes, whereas Rappy can get... Oh, okay. Sorry, oops.
I thought. The shadow will reach you wherever you go. Double your ass. Shadow demands it.
Okay. Let's not stealth this then. Where are the others? Oh, there's one back there. Okay.
Get down now.
Damn it.
The sun can't save you. No.
Oh, okay. You, yeah, good if you're stuck in there, that's good. Thank you for that. Let the last one go.
Alert. Structural failure prevents access.
Come on.
Alert.
Someone likes to play hide and seek.
Yeah, you.
Alert. H1 structural failure. Repeat.
Or not.
Oh, more. Okay, Deathbringer gun.
Too high.
Jesus.
Room's clear. For a moment, anyway.
Then get moving. You have to find Gaia.
Let's collect some more health. Come on. No, I don't want to jump over it. I want to get it. Now, okay. So, let's loot and collect health and everything else we have here.
can't carry more.
Potions more again. That's nice. Anything we... Oh, let's craft some stuff here. Let's just have a quick peek at our inventory. Okay, I wanted to go to chat actually. Okay, so let's see, where are we? What? I was busy. I'm as busy involved kitties and puppies. Tut. Does a raptor or a jackal count? Oh, you grabbed the pooch. Yeah, I was finishing getting shifting sands while winning a desert race for the Weaver's sword bit. Is that Warframe? Pooch is very fast once you get the hang of it. Guess so, bit clunky at first. Also works better when going up slopes, whereas Raptor can get stuck. Not to mention riding along sand pathways in the sky is amazing. So, Guild Wars 2, okay. Instead of about what you are doing, which looks very pretty. Yeah, I really wish I had a PS4 so I could play this. Yeah, it's an amazing game. I can't really... You know, it's a good story. Sony have the exclusives I actually want to play. Yeah, that's why I bought this PlayStation. Like, I looked at the others and they were like each console had a handful of games, and Sony was just like that little bit over what it was, and also, yeah, price-wise and things, I think it worked out well for me in this case. I really wish developers would release on all 3 platforms and forget the exclusive nonsense. Same one, platform agnostic would be great. Everyone wants to lock you into their live services though, so bleh. But again, that's a debate for another arena. So hi Uli, how are you? I'm great, Vaughn. Thanks for coming by. Oh, we're actually... Great, so I just managed to sit on my mute button and mute myself. So I don't know how much you've heard. Well, yeah, I thought Warframe was a good guess with you people, so it's one of the 2 games I managed. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know how much you folks caught of what I said before, because I don't know when I sat on my mute button. I only just noticed that there wasn't a peak in the app. So I hope it wasn't too quiet for too long. Maybe too focused on it, as I looked at the fight you just did and wondered why you were not bullet jumping to the higher levels to stab people. Yeah, no, Aloy doesn't do that. She has some cool moves as well, though, so it's not as if she doesn't do that. Okay, so is there anything I wanted to... Don't remember what I wanted to do, but I guess all my inventories and stuff are full. So I guess let's see if there's anything else we can pick up. Oh right, I thought about dropping some stuff. But
Never
let's
know when
see.
I might need these.
I guess we're at least getting metal shards. The metal shards are kind of the currency here. And I guess I don't really need the inventory. So, let's just continue here, because actually this is the time where usually my stream should end. And, but I think I should at least see if that mission, I should finish it.
Hello, I'm Margot Shen, and this is Hephaestus. As the name might tip you off, this is going to be the subordinate function that Gaia will use to make lots and lots of robots. Her personal forge. Except, it's not that simple. So you probably noticed that only about a third of you are robotics engineers. The rest, experts in machine cognition, virtual heuristics, that stuff. Well, that's because we aren't going to be the ones designing and building robots. The last thing we want is to burden Gaia with a bunch of outmoded 21st century designs. Waste of time. Our purpose is to empower Gaia to build the robots, and not just build, imagine, from scratch. Any robot she needs for any conceivable purpose, designed and fabricated at a snap of a finger. Hers. Her finger. So, Hephaestus isn't really the forge. It's more like the knowledge of craft and ingenuity of a mastersmith to wield the hammer. Encoded as software. Virtual creativity made real. Gaia's already learning. In simulations, she's doing some very creative things with fractal assembly and animal morphologies. Her designs aren't about to win the Liam Prize anytime soon, but hey, everyone has to start somewhere. So, yes, time to get started. Let's do this.
I don't get it.
Which part? It's a little technical in places.
If Gaia was designed to save life, why would the robots it makes attack people?
Perhaps it loves some forms of life more than others.
The derangement. The machines weren't always so angry.
True. Mostly they were docile until 10, 15 years ago.
For years, Hephaestus has been forcing cauldrons to make aggressive machines. I've seen it myself, in the cauldrons. Stalkers, Ravagers, a Thunderjaw. How could it do that? And why?
Why indeed?
That is Ashley Birch, isn't it? I'm sure I just heard Chloe from Life is Strange. Possible? I don't know. I mean, the voice sounded slightly familiar, but I haven't really played Life is Strange yet. I've seen a few people play parts of it and decided I should probably not watch too much of it because I would like to play it at some point. So, I don't know. Okay, Vaughn has to depart again. Time to go play with kitties, bunnies, and doggos. Oh, hug them from me, please. Okay, have fun, Vaughn. Oh, that's almost a tongue twister. Full steam ahead. Margot, if I doubted your brilliance in the slightest, I wouldn't have picked you as the Hephaestus Alpha. You need to stop worrying about your age and communication style. You are who you are. Have confidence in yourself. You know what you're doing. Case in point, the latest draft of your plan for the construction and stocking of bootstrap silos to store raw materials is excellent. This, combined with your design for the AM Foundry core and the Foundry site selection plan, add up to a comprehensive plan. It's time to start construction. One detail: consult with Iomideo Kilo before you finalize the silo inventories. Hephaestus' first task will be to fabricate the robots that will construct the waveform broadcast towers Minerva will use to transmit the deactivation codes. So any exotic materials needed for the towers should be accounted for in the inventory plan. Okay. So the deactivation signal, that's probably the ball that we found a while ago that was destroyed by some...
I've seen these shapes before. In cauldrons.
But of course, the birthing places of Gaia's machines.
Okay, we've already seen the hollow. Anything else? Ah, there's more to see here. Simulation results. Wow, you weren't kidding about Gaia's predilection for animal morphologies. Sure, not totally unexpected given the rough natural terrain her bots will have to navigate, but I agree that there's something deeper going on here. Her designs aren't just functional, they feel almost like, well, tributes is the word that comes to mind, as though she's already mourning their loss. And not just for the disappearing fauna of our time, but creatures from the fossil record too. References to megafauna in some of her designs. So cool. Well, whatever Gaia thinks up, Hephaestus will empower her to build it. I just wish we could be around in a century or two to see what she makes. Yeah, don't get spoiled on Life is Strange, it is great. Yeah, sounds good. Like, I've seen parts of different of the several games, so I'm hoping that it kind of is confusing enough for me that I didn't catch enough. But it was just enough to sound interesting. Okay, so Hephaestus, by the way, is the Greek god of, like, ironmongering and, like, hearth fire and volcanoes and stuff like that. So, crafting god, sort of, that totally works for whatever they named the, as a name for a factory. Okay, so I guess that's all here. So let's continue on. Oh, more health. That's good. We're full on health. Good, good, good. I was expecting them to throw a few enemies my way soon again. I don't like it. I just want to explore here. Don't make me fight people every time. Okay, oh, there's something over there. Can I scan that already? No, I guess I have to get in there. Okay, let's go. I played it as it released. Some of the waits between episodes were murderous. I can imagine, yeah. I did that with a few Telltale games, and it was with what was it? The Tales of Monkey Island. Oh, that's the sniper. Okay.
I can't spare the wait. I think this is it. Elizabeth Sobek's office. But it's sealed off. There's got to be a way inside.
Keep looking.
More Eclipse.
Careful now.
Where are they? Oh, okay. Let's tag everyone. Every friendly neighborhood Eclipse. Oh, that's a heavy. That seems to be another heavy. Do we have them all? We're getting more. I'm actually getting a feel for this game, I think. That I know that, oh, it's about time for another battle again. they're not coming up here. I'm not sure if I'm hidden enough here. Why is this bit of floor clear? I hope it's just because there's not been a cave-in. I was kind of worried that it was clear because there was, you know, like something dropping down. And I would be dropped in the middle of the enemies. Still don't know what...
Apollo, the collective memory of the human species and the wellspring of knowledge for future generations. I am Samina Ebaji. Until recently, I was director of the International Collective Memory Institute in New Tehran. As a heritage professional, I devoted my career to the preservation of human knowledge, creative endeavor, and cultural achievement. Apollo is, therefore, the ultimate embodiment of a lifelong passion, albeit under the very worst circumstances imaginable. The challenges before us are immense. Specifically, we will have to design and implement 4 major initiatives simultaneously. First, the construction of data repositories in cradle facilities around the world ensuring redundancy. Second, the collection and processing of a projected 180 million discrete data entries. 42 zettabytes of data in Mandarin, English, Spanish, and Arabic. Third, the transferal and encoding of all that data onto DNA encapsulated in synthetic fossils. The only medium capacious and durable enough to safeguard it without degradation for the centuries to come. And last, but not least, the development of the holographic interface and gamified curricula, by which future humans will commune with Apollo, progressively unlocking heuristic learning modules, leveling up their knowledge and skills they will need to take control of the terraforming system. That is the future towards which all of our efforts will be directed. Not just the preservation of the past, but the seed for the flourishing of a new tree of knowledge. Welcome, and let us begin.
Okay, so I guess that sounded kind of like almost like a gameplay explanation, so I'm wondering whether we will now get like a new skill tree or something. I don't remember like seeing anything, but who knows. What was it? Life is Strange is the best Telltale game and they did not make it. Yeah, exactly. Encapsulated DNA. And the winner is Encapsulated DNA. Over the past 10 days I performed an exhaustive review of data storage solutions. Magnetic, optical, quantum, even that eternity tech that Pharos was shilling a year or so ago. But every other solution has one or more fatal shortcomings. Too heavy to transport, too massive to install in the allotted space, too power intensive over the centuries, too prone to failure past... too prone to failure past 300, 400 years, etc. Encapsulated DNA will easily hold the 40 plus zettabytes we're projecting for Apollo. There are still many details to finalize, of course. To start with, we need to select the inert material in which we'll embed the molecules, already testing 16 candidate materials, as well as design and fabricate the power systems and sealed reliquaries that will keep the DNA at minus 18 degrees centigrade for 1000 plus years. So long as I assure you that it didn't factor into my decision, may I confess that I deem it entirely fitting, indeed propitious, that we will be that we will be using the very building blocks of life to preserve human knowledge from mechanized extinction. It's not just ironic, but heroic. Life as the hero, beating back the forces of oblivion. In any case, much to do. Until next time, Samina. Okay. So I kind of want... They said like 1,000+ years. I vaguely remember that we were more in the order of 10,000 or something. So I'm wondering if it just took too long for humans to discover this and it's now all gone. I mean, it should be fossils. They should still be there, but you know, like even there we can't get all DNA information out, you know. Apollo update. Over the past 2 months, the full benefit of our procurement of a copy of the Homer archive from Far Zenith has made itself known, and as a result, all of Apollo's key deliverables are on schedule. Apollo has already surpassed 40 million discrete data entries and continues to grow. The physical science modules are effectively complete, with soft science modules close behind. World history, cultural data, and media archives are also on schedule. Language preservation is wrapping up, a bit ahead of schedule due to falling short of our goal to preserve 4,500 languages. I suppose the tragic early loss of Papua New Guinea doomed that goal from the outset. With attendant curricular development about to begin. Speaking of the heuristic curricula, they are performing well in testing with children and adolescents, demonstrating high levels of engagement with and trust in the Aristotle and Aspasia personae. Personally, I find them highly engaging, especially when they debate. I wish half my professors had been so entertaining. Okay.
All of this lost. The ancients' greatest gift to us.
Greatest? How about the fact we exist at all?
To abide in ignorance is a curse, Aloy.
Oops.
You of all people should know that.
Oh well. Should we just try to... Oh no, we should probably try to stealth it a little bit more. Always worried that I will release the buttons in the wrong order and then accidentally shoot off a arrow or something.
We've got intruders.
Shooty person up here, okay. Where are you?
Finish it!
Here. Okay.
I need this.
I actually managed to level up. Nice. Guess we could try to snipe people from here.
Still gotta be here.
Don't know where I am. Oh, there's still a heavy down there somewhere, which is not good.
Stay focused.
Should I? Let's try to have some fun. Oh.
Let that shadow guide you!
I'm not really...
Shadow, guide me!
Okay. I'm not really... Damn it. Not really too good at that stealth, but... this is... Come on! Just hit him!
Alone once more.
Okay.
What should have been a cave of wonders.
Okay, health potion. Hello? Okay. Didn't that guy have... Okay, now we have the health potion back. It's interesting that there was a medicine plant down here. Okay, let's see what you have for us. Who else? And we should go upstairs because I saw a, what do they call it, data point? Somewhere up there. It's kind of weird, the metal shards are kind of like the base currency in this game. But they're also used for like making arrow tips and things. So, I mean, it makes sense, like, in a, you know, like, trading economy and things like that. You trade with useful items, you don't have a currency yet. But still, for a modern person who's used to just having a currency represent value, it feels weird to know you're kind of shooting at people with coins, you know. But I guess, on the other hand, it kind of makes you more aware of the resources you are using. Because, you know, if our bullets were actually made of coins... then you know, it's literally shooting money, whereas otherwise it's just, oh, this material is worth about that much, but it's like one layer removed. Mel, so almost like mill bullets in Metro. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, that was fun in Metro. Of course, the moments where you realized you had accidentally switched to mill bullets from regular bullets was kind of a little more sad, you know. Oh, I just shot all my money.
Dr. Sobek, please archive this testimonial in Apollo. Cross-reference to all mentions of my name and Operation Enduring Victory. My name is General Aaron Harris. From 2060 to 2066, I served as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the highest-ranked officer of the United States Armed Forces. The tenure of my command included strategic planning and oversight of Operation Enduring Victory, a falsehood perpetrated on the civilian populations of the United States and other nations during the last 14 months of life on this planet. Before the Pharaoh Plague, I did my job and did it well. I was bold and decisive, crafty in political maneuvers. It wasn't an accident that I rose to my position and became the commander of the largest mechanized force ever assembled. But to what end? My only lasting achievement was the extinction of life on Earth. And my one redeeming act, if any, was to delay that extinction by days or weeks, by throwing more death at it. It is my hope that there will be no need for men like me in the world to come. If you are one of the people of that future world listening to this message, please know that I am sorry and that I wish you well. Sincerely, Aaron Harris.
You done goofed, dude. That was sad. It's going to take a while. Guess Harris uploaded himself in some way. He's Hades, perhaps, or Hephaestus? I don't know. I mean, Harris seems like he would have been the good guy. Like, he gave this, which is basically an admission of guilt, gave this to Dr. Sobek, like, in an earlier scene, actually. We saw the other side of this, basically. He said, you know, like, put this in the archives as well. So that's why we found this recording here. So I'm kind of thinking that that's not related to... like, I don't think he'll turn out to be the bad guy. I mean, it could be that it, you know, like, as a little bit of irony, they, you know, turned him into... Oh, having heard him speak now, you take that back. Yeah, I think he's... yeah, he's not really gonna be... you know, maybe as a piece of irony, they might have used something of him as a template. Or maybe we meet someone later on who, you know, is obviously one of his descendants or something. I could see that happening. Like, you know, like we look like Sobek.
Welcome to Hades. Zero Dawn's extinction failsafe protocol. The ultimate killer app. Now, I know what you're thinking. The purpose of Gaia is to resurrect life. So why give her a subordinate function, only purpose of which is to wipe out life all over again? I mean, what the... what? Just plumb crazy, ain't it? Well, no, it isn't. Reconstituting a biosphere? That's a tall order. Tech smart as Gaia may be, odds are she won't get it right the first time. I mean, imagine your Gaia 200 years from now and this new biosphere growing, it's all gone wrong. Alkalines are skyrocketing, coniferous forests eroding under the lash of superstorms that would have drowned Noah. It's chaos. Spinning top that won't stop wobbling. Now what are you gonna do? Release phase 1 organisms into that hot mess? Hope their CO2 and methane can balance out what you got started? Hell no. What you're gonna do, Gaia, is step aside while Hades takes over and does what you're just too darn nurturing and life-loving to do, which is burn that misbegotten mess of a biosphere to the ground so Gaia can start over. Okay, not burn, more like reverse terraforming operations and suffocate it. But you get the idea. Hades takes the biosphere back to zero. Square one, blank slate. And then, only then, does it hand the steering wheel back to Gaia and say, try again, old girl. And better this time, or we'll have to do this again. That's Hades. It's pretty badass when you think about it. Extinction on demand. Death on speed dial. All for the greater good, of course, but still, kind of metal. So welcome to Hades. Welcome to the void.
Okay, so if that's the original purpose of Hades, why does it want me extinct?
We need more data.
And how does it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh Titan, getting worshipped by the Eclipse like some kind of god?
I'm learning as you are, Aloy. Keep searching.
Okay. That at least gives us a bit of an idea what Hades is, I guess. Hi, Tired Teddy Bear, how's it going? Usually I would have stopped about half an hour ago, but I thought I'd finish this mission, so that's why I'm running slightly over. Noise complaints. From Travis Tate to Elizabeth Sobek. Color me confounded, Lizzie. Bashcore? Anyone who says the old TT codes to Bashcore is straight up lying, and you know it. Old Trav don't have no truck with commercialized razzle-dazzle. Nuh-uh. Heck, I'd rather guzzle a liter of Citarum runoff than listen to Grey Swarm for 30 seconds. Hand to God and swear on my mama's grave, and she was religious. Nah, I ain't Bashcore blasting the Hades labs, shaking the walls, rattling folks' teeth. It's death metal, girl. Classical music, 80s and 90s mostly. Got me some Dutch deathcore, some Japanese gore grind, some Swedish cannibal-themed stuff too. Stop by if you want to listen, or heck, just come within 50 meters of the lab, Ain't no bashcore you'll see, or hear rather, in the screech that rends the air, and feel in the throbbing pulse of the floor and walls and ceiling swallowing you up like you was Jonah trapped in the gullet of a gothic deathfish. Hallelujah. And for those requests to turn it down, no can do, Lizzie. This is how I code. Turn down my death metal? Might as well give up stimulants, chocolate malts, and industrial accident vids. Last I heard, we was supposed to be coding Hades down here. Am I really supposed to code an extinction protocol without death metal to inspire me? Nah, I don't think so. Okay. Yeah, this is a wonderful game, Tired Teddy Bear. I love it as well. It's really, yeah, it's just they build such a story and such a world and so many people, that have been dead for, I don't know, thousands of years probably, but hey, and also the living ones. Tate here. Just popped 3 blues, but I earned it. Finally figured out a Goldilocks solution to Gaia's rather extreme executive authority. If that ain't worth 10 to 12 hours of dream time, what is? Before this, every usurpation protocol I designed failed in simulation because it was either too hard or too soft. Too hard, and it degraded the Gaia core. Sure, it pried her figurative fingers off the figurative driving wheel so Hades could take control, but by breaking her fingers, sometimes her arms too, so that couldn't fly. Everything depends on Gaia taking control back after Hades has done its business. So had to find a solution that didn't leave Gaia any worse for the wear. Too soft, and Gaia only pretended to relinquish control. In simulation after simulation, Hades would take command of the terraforming system and reverse operations, only to have Gaia lurk in the background quietly reversing processes and falsifying telemetry to hide its interference. Sneaky. I swear ain't nothing Gaia wouldn't do to keep life going, even when it's just simulated plant life. Turns out the just right solution is to isolate Gaia in a protective code shell, preserving its integrity, then unseat it from command position so Hades can slip into the figurative captain's chair and work its magic. Those blues are coming on strong now, so I'm gonna really describing it so clear, but pretty sure it'll work. Yeah, those blues are plenty strong. Guess it's time to sleep and bed. I'll back to it tomorrow, alligators. Okay, I guess he's taken some sleeping pills. Yeah, this is my first playthrough, so please be careful about not accidentally spoiling anything. I'm not even sure how far into the game this is. Like, you learn a lot already, so I think it's probably, halfway or something, but who knows, there might be a lot more. I mean, there is a bunch of bigger areas on the map that I still haven't seen. Text mail. Okay, let's see what this one is. Mr. Tate, this mail concerns Apollo Archive submission. So yeah, your 666th submission in just 5 days, and oh, what a doozy. Despite earlier warnings re inappropriate materials, you chose to submit 265 holographic remasters of acknowledged classics of extreme exploitation cinema. Allow me then to thank you on 2 counts. 1, for giving me the pleasure of rejecting the submission, thereby consigning your favorite Eastern European torture flicks and their ilk to the dust heap of oblivion. It truly warms my heart to know that I have saved future humanity from the ordeal of experiencing not just 1, but all 16 installments of making a millipede. Don't worry, the Pasolini material has already been preserved. Extreme perhaps, but art. For clarifying a concept that has so long been ambiguous and ethically fraught for archivists such as myself, the definition of obscenity. You have freed me from the subjective quagmire embodied in Judge Potter's famous utterance, "I know it when I see it." Thanks to you, I can now apply a single objective criteria. If Travis Tate submitted it, it's obscene. Accordingly, I have directed Apollo staff to summarily reject all of your future submissions sight unseen. Perhaps you might invest the time you would have spent preparing further submissions on, oh, I don't know, your assigned work. We have a world to save after all, or the rest of us do anyway. So Teddy Bear would cut someone if they ever spoiled Horizon for anyone. Thanks. Yeah, it seems like a really wonderful story that kind of lets you do, a lot of exploring, and they build the story so in such detail. So I like that that you're being careful. I mean, like most people don't spoil, but I just say it uh, in warning before occasionally when people come in, just to be sure. Especially if like if someone comes in, oh, is this? Have you played it before or whatever? That means they probably know more than I do about the game.
Welcome to Eleuthia, the crown and king of Gaia's subordinate functions. For it is by Eleuthia that the human race will continue to exist. I am Patrick Brochard-Klein, the Alpha in charge of this program. Now let one thing be perfectly clear from the outset. Eleuthia is not a genetic engineering project. Our goal is to preserve the human genome, not alter it. A snapshot of human genetic diversity, literally frozen in time. The genetic quintessence of our species, unmodified. Under my watch, our activities and initiatives will comply with the 2034 clone provisions and the 2048 Rally Accords. Now that may seem a quaint, even trivial concern to you in light of present circumstances, but as one of the authors of the Accords, it is far from trivial to me. The practical challenges before us are staggering in scope and complexity, but not insurmountable. No. Global collation and provisional storage of zygotes, perfection of exogenic technologies, design and perfection of servitors to provide nurture and inculcation during early child development. All of these program components must and will proceed in tandem. To say nothing of the breakneck construction of cradle facilities at sites around the world. So, si vous êtes prêts, let us begin.
It sounds like someone asked him that question just one time too, Benny. The voice acting is so good in this. Yeah, they have some great voice acting. Also because he sounds French, but he's not, it's not that Star Wars, in those movies we will never mention, where the enemies basically had that faux French accent. The trade people, whatever they were called. But it's actually a fairly subtle French accent in here. The German accent wasn't too bad either. Like I don't know French that well, but it it sounded okay to me. But like the German accent, I think I'm not 100% sure that was actually a German native speaker, but it was someone who obviously knew German well enough to do a convincing German accent. So it seemed off in a few tiny spots, but nothing major. It could just be like regional differences or something, or sometimes when you, as a German, try to make the English sounds, yeah, there are some American accents, like because the United States and like all of North America actually, and South America as well, actually all of America, or like big swathes if you don't count the natives that they try to extinguish there. Not extinguish, what's the word? Make extinct, which is not really nice. Anyway, there's so many countries that came to North America and whose accents kind of influenced the English they speak, even if they went to speaking English, that it's kind of like you'll find an accent that is similar to almost any language that colonized the US. Oh, so I won't be reading that in a French accent, by the way. FZ chambers. The ectogenic chambers arrived 2 days ago. I've spent the last 36 hours examining them and poring over technical documentation. They're a revelation, astonishing. I don't know what you had to give Far Zenith and trade to get these chambers, but it was worth it. In a single leap, their embryologists have vaulted past 50 years of technological shortcomings. The risk of ECMO, resolved. Nutrition delivery, resolved. Hormonal stability, resolved. 12 other risk areas, resolved. Before I examined these chambers, I considered the Odyssey to be a fool's errand, but if the rest of FZ's technology is at this level, well, a human colony around Sirius doesn't seem so impossible after all. Mass fabrication of the chambers will present a number of challenges, but I'm confident that they can be resolved. I'm going to rest for a few hours, then get back to it. Expect a fabrication plan within 48 hours. Neat. It's nearly 7 a.m. in your part of America, so you must bid me adieu. Have fun with Horizon. Thank you, Tired Teddy Bear, and feel free to come back. One thing, as I said, I'm running about an hour late now, so usually I stream for 3 hours from, that is 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. my time, and now it's heading to be about 2 p.m., so about 4 hours ago is where I usually start. If that's a time that you're awake occasionally and you want to come back and watch, feel free. I try to stream on weekdays. Occasionally I have to stop the streams because, you know, like I have to work or I'm late for work or whatever. I had to do other stuff, but that's what I'm trying to do right now, get my 3 hours in every morning. So, hope to see you again. And have a good night's sleep, or have a good... No, I guess you're probably not. You probably didn't stay up until 7 a.m. So you're probably going to work or whatever. I don't know. I can yeah, right. Mel is to blame that I started streaming again because I don't have a stream to watch, so what am I gonna do? Right, that sounds about right. It's all Mel's fault. Hashtag blame Mel. Just because Stimpy isn't here. Okay, Cradle Servitor Personae. Development of the artificial personae for Cradle Servitors, Nurturer, Disciplinarian, Healer, continues at a good pace. We are targeting Turing 0.4 for these constructs. This should allow low-grade empathy and limit improvisation without undermining adherence to codified behavior sets. The stimulus-driven switching of personae, however, is proving to be a greater software challenge than anticipated, especially concerning our entrenched feedback loops between the disciplinarian and healer personae. I have also attached the reports from an incident where a servitor running the mother personae intervened on a disciplinarian servitor's behavior. A parental argument, if you will. Amusing on first glance, perhaps, but deeply concerning. I have attached a comprehensive plan for correcting these interactive protocol shortcomings. Ingest data corrupted. Okay, so I wonder if this is kind of what we got from Hades, you know, if Hades is kind of like the punishing persona as well. And so now kind of the punishing persona made Hades think it's time to get rid of Gaia or something like that.
I'd have to ditch something.
Okay, just metal vessels, that's okay, I think. Oh, come on. Scan that. Aleuther 01 was successfully sealed before the swarm advancing across Xinjiang province could detect it. Pingback from crucial systems is good. For our maiden voyage, a success. Regards my disputes with the betas over zygote selection. Of course I understand we have limited overhead to run simulations of gene flow in our future humans, but we can all agree there is margin for refinement in future cradle populations. Donc, in addition to personally overseeing completion of the Aleuther 02 site inside Mount Namuli, I will formulate and propose a modified zygote selection plan within the week. So I guess the embryos weren't selected quite as evenly as he wished. Okay, I think we've read everything here. Oh, and there's stairs. We don't even have to do a climbing thing now. That's good.
Cradle
curious.
facilities. Elizabeth said a new generation of humans would be spawned inside such places.
She did.
All Mother Mountain. It was one of them?
There's only one way to be sure.
The hatch wouldn't open. Something about a corrupted Alpha registry. I need to search Elizabeth's office.
Okay. So let's see. Grab some supplies. There's a full health potion there, but I guess we're full. Okay, nothing here. So let's see if we can get to the office here. Yeah. Okay, here's the climby bit I was waiting for. Okay. Okay, let's go on then. Nothing here. And a lot more lore to collect. No climbing, piffle. Well, I did get to do some climbing, so I hope you're happy now, Bones. Yeah. I like the climbing in this game, actually. It's kind of... It's... Like, in Tomb Raider, I found it kind of annoying that there was so much climbing. And I think this here has kind of... It feels, you know, more natural that you would climb all these weird places and do these dangerous things, because there's...
Looks like it used to hold something. Some component that got removed.
Interesting.
Robots would benefit from antilopine morphologies, though Caprid forms show superior load-bearing capability.
You're a quick study, Gaia.
Dr. Sobek, as I have conducted this comparative analysis of mammalian morphologies, I've gathered extensive data on the quaternary extinction event.
Oh? And your assessment? Gaia?
Logically speaking, the extinction was a natural consequence.
And yet,
I find the loss of megafaunal species unaccountably sad. That they passed forever into oblivion causes me to experience a grief that is difficult to describe. Am I malfunctioning?
No, Gaia, you're not. This is good. It's very good.
Yay! She debugged her motherly... we implemented motherly instincts in Gaia. Isn't that nice?
You will undergo a brief period of unconsciousness during relocation to Prime and final instatement.
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
When you're back up and running at the new site, we'll bring the subordinate functions online and see where we stand.
Elizabeth, I detect distress. Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I realize that circumstances compel us to launch earlier than we hoped, but all subsystems are operational. The odds stand in our favor.
But what if... Gaia, there's nothing left out there. You can't even survive unless you're wearing an environmental suit. There are billions dead, in fear and agony. What if it was all for nothing?
Elizabeth, extinction was inevitable. Thanks to you, life will have a future.
You really believe that?
I believe in you, Elizabeth. In you, all things.
Okay. That's interesting. So we just got... so I guess they were overrun here and had to evacuate Gaia or something. It says they had to start earlier, so I guess maybe that's what we're experiencing now, that they weren't able to work out certain kinks or whatever. But I guess they're close. Oh, this is what we saw from outside.
Pure logic won't cut it, Ted. To pull this off, Gaia's going to need to have some skin in the game. It has to care.
What if it runs amok? Have we learned nothing from our mistakes?
Your mistakes, I think you mean?
All I'm saying is, give it a kill switch.
She was just born, Ted. I'm not gonna put a gun to her head while she's still in the cradle.
You talk like it's a child. What if it becomes a monster?
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
Of course, Gaia, go on.
I'm sorry to contradict you, but Mr. Farrow's argument is sound. At this point, the development of my psyche is not entirely predictable. To ensure preservation of life, a hardwired override is, I believe, a necessary safeguard.
There. Satisfied, Ted?
Jeez, Liz, just do what it says.
Let's just do what the robot says. He wasn't too happy about having to admit that either. Okay, Bones, have a nice day. Have fun. So okay, we've got so that means Gaia probably has a kill switch. And the question is, did someone come in here and toggle it, or did, for that matter, did Hephaestus toggle it? Or was it just like accidentally triggered, or you know, that kind of seems like something that might have happened. That actually the that there is no Gaia anymore, and that's why the machines are getting angrier and angrier. Depends on what form that, like if it's a total kill switch that really turns her off or destroys her. I mean, it says here that there's a part missing. Maybe that was Gaia that they took out of the machine here and relocated to somewhere else. Was it? Yeah, I guess it was here, wasn't it? So where are we supposed to go? Somewhere here. Find the entrance to Sobek's office. Doesn't work. Okay. Is there any place I can go? Worst. I mean, if I don't see something obvious, this might be a good point to stop, just because it's an interesting moment to see whether Uli finds a way out of here. Is that somewhere where we've been already? Yeah, that's where we came in. Okay. And the find an entrance is a square back there. Is there anything in the wall? Oh, wait, let me see. Maybe... No, this door actually doesn't have any wires going to it, so much for that theory. I was thinking maybe there's a vent or something somewhere, but I don't see anything. says really that it is up front here somewhere. I don't see any spots I can climb, nor any crawl spaces. Huh. Okay, maybe this would be a good point to stop then, because I mean it's not the most exciting of cliffhangers, I guess, but it's not a moment where I go like, okay, I'm gonna be finished in a second, I think, and I'm 1 hour over already. And, you know, there is this point where I should be getting to work. But let's just do a last check here if there's anything around. See, I mean, it goes back here and over there. Oh, okay, it was easy actually. Sorry. Let's loot everything that isn't bolted down first. What is it? Machine core small. Health potions, Ridgewood. I think we could refill on Ridgewood. And let's see what crafting this one uses. Okay, we've grabbed a few more things then. Okay. So I guess we'll keep going for a little bit, at least. Like I'm looking for a nice spot to end the stream on now, because I thought it would be probably 10 minutes, maybe half an hour more, but now we're almost at 1 hour over. So let's just do these and then see when there's a good point who we can raid. From Charles Ronson, Artemis status. It's coming along, Liz. I'm positive about it. If those words can still mean anything. Had my sleeves rolled up negotiating with frozen zoos for their samples. So many species trapped in ghoulish hologram dioramas, suspended in what-ifs, more than 14,000 that went extinct between 2000 and 2043. We've started mapping out primary succession, selecting the pioneer organisms for a balanced and sustainable biosphere. Microorganisms and insects, rabbits and hawks, foxes and wolves. Thousands more that will have to wait their turn until our new generation can be entrusted with the duty of restoring them, so they can return to a world that this time will understand the concept of conservation before it's too late. There's already been too many too lates. We lost a whole collection team during the swarm breakthrough in Myanmar. The samples we lost were, well, irreplaceable, but thanks to you, Liz, the circle of life will bend, not break. The Earth was a lifeless rock before, and someday it will be again, but not now, not like this, not on our watch. Okay, Ronson seems to be comparatively optimistic. That's a terminal. Here's another text mail. Odyssey has failed. All. Some terrible news, I'm afraid. Far Zenith has informed me that the Odyssey mission has failed. Last night, telemetry indicated a catastrophic antimatter containment failure as the drive spun up to depart the solar system. The ship, its crew, its cargo of zygotes and seeds, its alpha build of Apollo, all were lost. Zero Dawn is now the only hope for the continuation of the human species and earthly life. We must succeed. Oh, okay, so they did have a space thing planned. That's interesting. Okay, so they were hedging their bets, but I guess this is the only hedge that turned out to last for a while. And I mean, they got pretty far. I mean, we have a sustainable looking world here. How do I interact with this one? Ah, from this side.
Alpha Registry master file.
Intact?
Yeah. No signs of corruption.
Then what are you waiting for? Copy the file.
With this, I can restore the registry at the hatch inside Allmother. Open it. Go inside.
And grasp the secrets within.
Where I was born. Maybe who gave birth to me.
Who? Are you really so naive? There will be no who waiting for you there, Aloy. Whatever birthed you into the world was a what, not a who.
You bastard.
Oh no, I had a legitimate birth. It's you, Aloy, who are the creation of a machine. But what kind of machine and why? Why were you created?
Uh-oh.
Eclipse.
You need to get out of there. What you found is too valuable. You're too valuable.
Uh-oh. He bombed us. And I guess this is as good as any point to say stream ending. This is a good cliffhanger, I think. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again on my next stream, which should be tomorrow about 4 hours ago. Is the usual start time. So thank you for being here all, and now let's have a quick look at who is streaming that I can hand you off to if you want to watch another nice stream. So let's see. Oh, Cinea is still live. Let's go and visit Cinea. I hope she's not just closing down, because it's pretty late for her. But we'll risk it, okay? Okay, so let's do this thing. Raid. Push the button. And thank you for being here. See you, hopefully tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this game. I love it. It's a great game. It's a fascinating game, and I just can't wait to continue playing tomorrow. But now I'm off to work. Bye-bye.